the difference for them? Oh, one's got diffs. One hasn't. So that's no and no. I'll just do one of the trucks up. Right. Oh yeah, I'm on my mod playthrough. Noob girl, hi Wolf, how's it going? Cheers for joining us. Kenneth Russ, Wolfman, good to see you. I appreciate it, dude. Cheers for yeah, joining us as well. Got these, yeah, what was it? Sorry, the Wolfpack trucks. White Tiger, hi, how's it going, man? Rubber by Choice, morning. How's it going, dude? We'll get onto the and then stuff very shortly. Yeah, I could have quickly done these up just before the stream started, but I figured I may as well quickly zip through it while it's the start of the stream. Truth Lies, good day, Mr. Wolf. I'm not too bad, cheers, dude. How are you doing? Ethan Kluxnick, hello, how's it going, dude? I apologise if I pronounce that badly. I'm pretty pretty bad with names. Is that Roger Paquette? Hi, how's it going, man? Good to have you join us. Mark Rowe, hey Mr. Wolf, how's it going, dude? What should we get for these? Let's bang some chained on, sod it. Kenneth, I'm sad they didn't add all-wheel drive to these trucks. Yeah, true. I was just looking through them. I've been a little bit busy the last couple of days in particular. Well, not really busy. I was like on the phone to my brother like quite a while last night while he was driving and stuff. Yeah, I downloaded them thanks to Rebel by Choice for letting me know that they'd even added them, and then I didn't even get them until it must have been about 15 hours ago, shortly before I went to bed basically. So then I've only just got on tonight, and like I'm seeing them pretty much for the first time as I'm doing this live stream. But yeah, they look pretty cool. I'm on, what the bloody hell is it called? The first map, Black River in Michigan. Yeah, just a bit more of a normal map, because if they're gonna sort of be more like highway trucks, then I won't go too mad on the terrain I'll be going across. Sorry, I missed a couple of comments there. Jumped a bit higher. Look for the upgrades on the trucks. To be honest, I wouldn't know, just because I'm already going to have the upgrades, and I don't know which upgrades would correspond to this, to be honest. Basically highway trucks, but there are max versions already available on PC and seem to be on consoles. Yeah, that's the cool thing, is like the modders and stuff will give us various versions that, yeah, at least we'll have more stuff to play around with. Yeah, that's what she said. Basically highway trucks. Oh yeah, sorry, I just read that one. DJ Count Vampany. Hello all. So the new trucks don't have all-wheel drive. We'll go through them. Like, I'm a little new to it myself on these anyway. So let's get a sideboard just in case we need to throw a loaf in there. So it's got 2 raised axles. I wonder if you can put both of them down. Basically, I've just done that one up, but all-wheel drive no, all-wheel drive no. And then that one's just diff lock capable, so yeah, none of them have got all-wheel drive, which I'm surprised at. We'll see. There is exceptions. I've got a feeling these are going to be too light. Like stuff like the P16 feels like a beast without all-wheel drive, but it's a nice big fat hefty truck that just kind of plants itself in the ground, makes its own grip in a way, and it sort of gets away with not being all-wheel drive. People on Discord were pissed that they didn't have all-wheel drive. Yeah, I could imagine. It's certainly something. I don't know why they don't just add it. By the way, for the person who said about where to get the upgrades from, I don't know. But as I go into the engines, I assume like if you can see the names of these engines, well, I suppose you could do anyway because it's only got the padlock on it. But your best bet is probably just to YouTube like SI8V2850TC or whatever it is. Location. I know that's a little bit of a pain in the arse. It's going to be difficult for people that have played the game for a while. Yeah, I've already got the upgrades, so I don't know which upgrades I got that will correspond specifically to these trucks. That's the problem that I'll have being able to work it out. Yeah, so that's one of them, and then I'll do all 3 of them up, and then yeah, we'll just while I'm chatting away, and then we'll go out for a little trip. I've not got many missions left. At worst case, I'll just kind of invent a mission. I'll just grab some stuff and start heading somewhere. That's about all I can do at the minute. I kind of, again, need a the ability to like resettle the missions would be pretty cool. Mr. Buses is making a mod version of them. Yeah, that's cool. I'll definitely, as soon as they're on. I just looked on the mods quickly. I've basically got the same mods that I had on that Hope County map. I only didn't go on that Hope County map because I'm not entirely sure where the trailer store is. You know, all sorts of stuff. I was like, since I'm testing these mainly, yeah. But I'm not done with that Hope County map. I can always go back to it. Well, yeah, I'll get active then. 1424 has a special paint job. Oh, does it? Cheers, dude. I'll go and check it out in a sec. Is that Chris DeFontaine looking for raised suspension? It's true, actually. It was I don't know if it's just because it's my mod playthrough or not. Oh yeah, because it's not going to let me get the biggest tyres either. So, the question is though, explore to find this item. So normally, doesn't it normally say like explore, you know, Alaska or something to find this item? What the hell, just explore to find this item? That doesn't really... What does that one say? Yeah, like that. Explore Alaska to find this item. So that engine, obviously, I don't think it's the top one for me anyway, but that'll be on Alaska somewhere, the original maps. I wonder then if they're going to do the upgrades on Phase 8. Justin Lynch, hello, how's it going, dude? Good to have you joining us. Alpino, 23. Hey, Mr. Lone Wolf, good to see sorry, good to catch up the stream. Yeah, no, I appreciate you popping in. Yeah, it was one of them where now they've added a couple of new things. At least I can mess around with them. Again, I don't think it'll be the longest stream because I don't mind. We'll see how it goes. But I've had like that aching in my cheek. I've had it for about the last 2 weeks. It's been driving me mad. I'm wearing the headphones at a funny angle off my ear again. But yeah, it's not really... It got more painful the other day. It's not as bad right now, although I took some painkillers earlier. But it's just one of them pains where it's like... Feels... You know, if like you got a metal splinter in your thumb and it's just annoying you and it ain't really going to stop until you pull it out. But yeah, I can't really go in my cheek and pull... I don't know. Whatever's annoying it out, so we'll see. I'm trying to ignore it until it goes away. That was the next plan. Is that Zian the best? I apologise, it's kind of cut the top bit of your name off, but hi, love your videos. I appreciate it, dude. Glad you enjoy the vids. Again, it'll be nice when Phase 8 comes out. I can actually just... well, I'm just going to have to go for the smaller tyres on this, because I don't really know what to say with the suspension. The fact that it just says explore, is like, that doesn't narrow it down to anything. I don't even... know where to start with that. It'd be bad enough if it told me which region it was on, but the fact that it's not even saying that. The 47, I'm not so sure so far. To be honest, I don't even know the names of them yet. I need to check it out. Engageable. So, oh yeah, that's the one with the Engageable Diffs. It's pretty crazy though. Is that like the most off-roady one has just got Engageable Diffs? Which, for what it's worth, I was just able to equip them, so you don't have to go and find that. Yeah, I wonder if the suspension is going to be on, like, the Phase 8 or something, because it's just an odd thing that they've not said. Oh, so it's got a roof rack, which is interesting. I may as well put it on. Oh, and it can have a sideboard. I'll put a sideboard on, because we'll see if it can still fit a trailer on. It should be able to, but you never know with this game. I'm just curious if you can add lights, will it remove the... No. So you can have sort of spotlights and the roof rack. I won't go through too much of this because I'll... Obviously, one cool thing is I can now... There's 3 more review videos I can make. So rather than going through like a full-on review, we'll mess around with them and stuff. That's a pretty cool paint job. Good old Wolf on the on the front, and yeah, I like that. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, so I won't go full like review mode with it. Let's just see quickly. Does this have like a roof rack or anything you can add? It's not looking like it. No, not that it's the end of the world. I'll just throw a goddamn horse or a vehicle in there. Job's a good one. Here's my roof rack. Again, I'll sort of leave all them because I'll test them out. Yeah, no special paint job on this one. We'll make it bright yellow just so we can see what's painted and what's not. And then this one, Western Star 57X. Right, so yeah, the other one that we've had for a while is the 47X, wasn't it? So Aerotruck is based, got the double pusher axle, truck setup with a big crane, does pretty decent surprisingly. Is that this one? Sorry, I assume Aerotruck, just, it's got like it's, yeah, like it's made to be aerodynamic. Looks pretty cool. That's going to be, is it like a sleeper cabin that? Oh yeah, something got raised on there, and that says explore, but it doesn't say where. Again, that's just pure gut feeling, but I reckon they might be adding something in Phase 8 for that. But the good news is, that means Phase 8 can't be that far away by now. Got to see it at night, the eyes light up on the hood. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'll check that out. Mark, is that Dom Broven? Sorry, again, it cuts people's names. Yeah, I don't know why it confuses them so much. It cuts words in half without that little, you know, like a little line that then it tells you that there's like the other half of the word on the next line. It's crazy how handy that is. This truck has a nice mustache. I can't really tell at the minute, but still. Like a good old mustache. Well, I suppose I technically have a mustache myself, but only from like just, I don't know, from the fact that I have to keep shaving it off to not have one. Some snorkels. I don't know if it'll be able to go that deep. That's what she said, of course. We'll find out, right? So it reminds me a little bit of the Navistar, as in, there's obviously no sideboard or anything, you can have a crane. I'll leave the crane off only because it might mess with like the weight and stuff and how tippy it is, and I'd sort of like to see how it is organically. So you can get that even lower, which, oh wait there. Oh no, I can put, oh they're all stock. What? What the hell is that then? Seemed a little bit rough around the edges. Again though, it's not the end of the world because they can patch it when they do Phase 8. I could leave them stock, but I might get that one just because it sits a bit higher. Some horns, exhaust, pretty crazy exhaust, those ones. They look pretty cool though. I'm not really bothered, I'll just leave them on for now. Oh, got another crazy paint job. That looks pretty nice as well. Nice bright colour. Reminds me of, what's it called? Moltres from the original Pokemon. Some old school stuff that is. I think I did add everything, didn't I, on this menu? Yeah. Horn placement is funny. I was just going to say that actually, it looked a bit odd. Right, which one should we take out first? I'll do it the most boring first, which is probably going to be this one. So no diffs, no all-wheel drive, 44-inch chained, although I'll just check again quickly. Was this the one where it won't let me... Oh no, so this is like as big as the wheels can get on this. So what's this saying then with suspension? Does it just... Yeah, so it doesn't even have the option of raised suspension on this one. So this is, yeah, pretty, just double check there's not a roof rack or anything then. I don't think there is because of the way it brought it up in the menu on the last one. No, so yeah, this seems like it's going to be... I'll check the nighttime one on the next truck. So, change suspension mode. Yeah, it does lower both of them then. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I don't dislike or like the raisable axles. They don't bother me either way. They just was on the original Derry. And that might have been before they even had the raisable axles. I think that was just when it was like a dead axle that kind of got in the way after a while. Yeah, at least when you lift them, they get out of the way. It's just if I'm going over like a bump, I can already tell that the bump of the hill, when it sits between those two liftable axles, I've got no power to those axles, so I can end up kind of getting beached on it, unless my front or rear wheels are touching enough to where I can pull myself over it. Then yeah, that's just kind of what happens. I'd rather the chassis just scrape over the hill than have wheels that sort of like, yeah, you now need extra oomph to get them over. Truth lies, the one with the wolf paint sounds the best. True, I must admit, I think the one with the big, you know, head spoiler aero stuff going on looks pretty cool. But yeah, I've got a feeling that I agree. The one with the wolf painting will be kind of the most useful for us. Got a log floating in the air there. You never know. These new lightweight logs. Trailer wise, it's looking. Just wanting to check. Yeah, that one looks like there's plenty of room anyway. So I don't think trailers are ever going to be an issue with that. Oh, obviously I've got the trailer pack on, so there's going to be all sorts. Well, I may as well just take it for a little drive. Although, probably going to have to get a goddamn horse, just because if I don't, well, that'd be practically an act of heresy. But as well, if I end up tipping it. Do enjoy a bit of my goddamn horse, can't lie. Guy on a Moose Adventures, the pushers are great for stability, quite like them actually, for system and heavy crane. The pushers. Well, is that like a truck term? I'm not that clued up when it comes to truck stuff. That's a goddamn horse. That's what you want a garage of well, yeah, a SnowRunner garage to look like. Just full of goddamn professionals. Can this thing have a crane? Certainly looks like it should be able to. Cool. Heavy crane. Okay, the gap between the cab and the sideboard looks stupid. Is that on this one? Yeah, true. It's a little bit hefty, isn't it? They don't really need that much of a gap either, because those raisable axles are kind of like small enough to stay out of the way. Whereas, say, like on the, I know the Dolphin, it's not really like raisable axles, but its second axle sort of gets in the way to where it makes the sideboard have to sit further back. But this one doesn't really look like it'd have to do that. She's in. Victory horn, right. Impact. I'm sure I'd just change the time to midday. It doesn't feel sunny enough. The dropper axles. Oh yeah, the horn. I mean, it's not a terrible horn. Sorry, is it one train up? It's useless. Is that this truck? I agree for the most part. Well, I've not even really driven it yet, but yeah, I don't like. I've not seen the latest maps on Phase 8. If they're gonna have some kind of highway driving stuff, like these kind of roads, this little bit here is boggy, or it is with most trucks. You can definitely tell it feels a little bit, yeah. Like for example, oh no, saying that, it's yeah, it's not all-wheel drive, is it? So the front ain't gonna do shit anyway. Well, yeah. Why are those little wheels? Are they just spinning from when? Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not looking great for this one. I'll give it a free little pass on this bit, just because I remember this bit is a bit unnecessarily awkward, to be fair. I normally kind of cut across the grassy bit to the left. But it's definitely... Jesus, man. Like, the fact they didn't put all-wheel drive on this. Yeah. And this is the first map as well, in the entire game, so... unless there's some like fairly highway focus, not necessarily like full on highway, but you know what I mean, pretty light kind of off-roading, then yeah, this thing's going to struggle quite a lot. They've obviously made a deal with Western Star. I'd say that much, because the Wolfpack is kind of like 3 Western Star trucks. We had the Western Star 47X a little while back. What else have we got that's Western Star? Is the Twin Steer? I think that is as well, isn't it? And the... I can't even remember the name of it now. The White Western Star. I assume that's in the same group of trucks, which I've always sort of quite like that. If they made a highway map, most of these trucks could have a great use. Yeah, exactly. This one, I mean, considering just without all-wheel drive, you can tell this, it's just not enough. It doesn't really even feel like it's got enough oomph in the engine to... Yeah. Again, I'll go for a little lap, but this one's definitely, I can already tell. I mean, at least I went for like the potential shittest first. Yeah, I'm not going to be using this thing a lot. But again, when they make a mod version and got all-wheel drive and all that, and maybe a bit of boosted power, yeah, it could be cool. Like, I don't really mind as long as it's got the equipment for the job. 124, sorry, was it 1424 is the best I've seen. So I'm using them on there, definitely better on OP. Yeah, just really. Again, I know this corner is like that little bit I just drove into is a little bit like extra boggy than the normal bits, but it ain't the sort of truck I'm going to want to keep reversing round every time there's like an extra little boggy bit. Right now we have the two 47Xs, 49X, 57X, the Y and TS. Yeah, so quite a few. So they've obviously done some kind of deal with them, but again, would you not like, if I was the owner of Western Star, I'd be, you know, giving them a little bit of an elbow to the ribs, like, fucking hell boys, make it, you know, it's an off-roading game and you've added a truck that is going to look like it's been caught with its pants down as soon as you go near most off-roading situations. And again, if there was a more, highway-esque focused map to be added, that'd be pretty cool, but I don't know if they will or not. Mark, right, okay, sorry, it's jumping pretty quick. $70 edition. Guy in a Moose 57X is a rebranded Freightliner Cascadia. Oops, shit. Run over a car. Do you see though, for example, I didn't even mean to do this, but do you see how basically the dropper axles or whatever are now beached essentially on this car? They've lifted my back axles up so they're not gripping. The front, well there you go, the front is not all-wheel drive. We'll see if I lower the suspension. Not that it might kind of blag it, but yeah, you see what I'm saying. If those wheels just weren't there, I'd inevitably get to the point where the first of the rear axles would like hit the front of the bonnet, and because the front are just not powered, I'm basically relying on those two wheels at the back to dig in. But I'm beached on the axles, like on the non-powered axles. I'm not really caught on anything. I just need the extra oomph to get them out of the way. So yeah, that's where I just find the axles a bit of a waste of time. Can we even get a winch and pull anything out? Yeah, this is a first truck, a bit of a disappointment. Because it won't, well, I'll say it won't take long. I'm already pretty much bored of it. To be fair, if the, what they call, this one's the, was it the 1430 then? I think the other one's the 1424. I'll end up, I'm not even sure if I'll do a full review on this one, if it's just going to get stuck every 2 seconds. Then, well, yeah. I mean, that's just something as simple as a car bonnet. I mean, for whatever reason, I seem to run over that car quite a lot, because I normally cut over there. Yeah, it's never even been an issue before. The game's only a few highway trucks, or trucks suited for highway, so I wouldn't pass, so I'd pass on, yeah, is that if they add like a sort of more of a highway focus map. I know there's a mod map that's kind of leans towards that kind of stuff. There's a loaf floating in the air. Oh, dude, goddamn professional. Close encounters of the lifetime. That's what he's filming. Leave it there. I was honestly very tempted to. I just wanted to see, like, if I could, yeah. I mean, look at it. I probably am just going to leave it, to be honest, because, long story short, if you're on anything except roads, then yeah, this thing just sucks. And again, it's those axles. If those axles just didn't exist, at least the rear of the rear tyres would be planted into the ground. That's just every time, look, they're hitting like a little hill. It just completely fucks this entire truck. And that's basically, like, as it plays out in this game, that is what I don't like about drop axles. But apart from that, I don't, looks-wise and that, it doesn't bother me either way. Well, in strictly speaking, I think they look quite cool as an option. It'd just be nice if you could go into the options in the garage and just completely delete them off the truck for practicality's sake. So unpack, recover. So yeah, that one is a bit of a shitter. This one should be a little better because it's, for a start, it's got a roof rack. Secondly, it has no axles that get in the way. It's got switchable diff lock, so it's as close as we're going to get to any of the off-road stuff. Was this the one though that's, yeah, but it's got the smaller tyre. Oh no, sorry, this is the one where I can get bigger tyres when we get suspension, but for whatever reason, yeah, I don't even know where to start with that one. I can't play SnowRunner anymore for a while anyways. My Xbox overheated and fried the circuit board. Yeah, that's not good. Sure, funnily enough, when I turned SnowRunner on about 15 minutes before the live stream started, my PlayStation, yeah, started sounding like a vacuum cleaner going off. It's done it a few times in the last 6 odd months, but I remember a while back people were saying their PlayStations do like get really noisy, and mine never really did before. And touch wood, it's not anything like, I think it's just part and parcel of it. But yeah, thankfully it's not quite gone that far yet. Has diff locks, yeah, which is a start. It certainly feels like it'll be a bit better. So it can fit a trailer underneath, like, yeah, the chassis is not too short or anything for it. Oh yeah, shit, I was trying to put the diff locks on it, won't obviously let me unless I'm in low range. Probably there's a mod map called Highway Hauling, that's the one, dude. I'm sure I went on that for, it must have been one of the live streams. I wasn't on it for too long. You know, we'll go this way, see what the old farm's saying, and, oh shit. Oh my god, I always press it too many times. That's what she said, of course. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool, I quite like that. Because it's not even like gimmicky, they light up. That's actually about, I can't even speak tonight. That's about the right amount of glowing eyes where that actually looks pretty cool, I think. And yeah, and the moon, oh, and their eyes glow on the side, but again, not like a tacky amount. The moon's kind of shining a little bit. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Very help if I put the headlights on. What the hell's that? Kind of trailer. I will get a goddamn horse in me in a minute, but Rebel, yeah, night time. Yeah, no, cheers for letting me know, dude. That definitely looks pretty cool. I'll turn it back to daytime in a minute, but yeah, I like that. It's about as close to a bit of a mad paint job like that, where it's, yeah, they've not overdone it. And I quite like there's sort of quite a neutral grey blackish. I don't know then, because that other truck with the like phoenix bird that's on fire, that also looks pretty cool, but I think it's more, I like that sort of flame fire colour type stuff. Yeah, this truck feels a lot better. Just in general, like, it feels like it's got enough power and oomph to get going. You always take a load of damage going across there. Let's go and see if it can kill some trees. CLT and Transtar can do more than you think. I was using them even in Season 6. In some ways, yeah. But they're just, compared to normal trucks, I mean, well, even say this one now. It's a good reason, good time to try the diff, see if that does anything. Just without that all-wheel drive, the fact that the entire front of the truck is not putting any effort in, that's what's just killing them. Because then, yeah, the back just wheel spins, but the back is trying to push the front. Like yeah, the tyres are sank halfway through the mud, and it just doesn't work. I'm sure I can probably wiggle out of this if I sit here. Oh, there you go. A winch helps. But yeah, it's pretty rare that trucks get actually properly stuck in this little bit of the field. And there's just, I mean, as far as like longevity of gameplay, I'm already kind of 1.5 trucks on board of. That's what I was going to say, I don't think it'll go anymore, but it killed a few, so. But now I can't even reverse because I'll be wedged on a tree a little bit. But yeah, just the lack of guts with no all-wheel drive is like a terrible idea. If I again was the owner of Western Star, I'd be on the phone to them immediately saying, get that shit fixed now. Have a great night. I'm off to bed. I appreciate it, dude. I apologise, I kind of missed some of the comments there, but yeah, cheers for popping in though. As I say, these are, yeah, if you just caught them, these are the new trucks, and they certainly look nice, the paint job, all the rest of it, but I think this was, yeah, so this can theoretically have bigger wheels. It ain't going to be that much bigger though, because the arches aren't even... Oh yeah, well there you go, yeah, 1 inch bigger. Fucking hell. How long has it been since they last added something? Seems like a bit of a pretty nice horn on it. I don't know. In some ways, these look the part and all the rest of it, but the way they've handled so far, like, feels like they've completely missed the mark. It's like they don't even know what game they're adding them to. So I don't think this thing would last very long with a trailer on it. You can kind of tell as well. Sorry, there's so many things in my yard that the camera keeps going all weird. You can sort of tell. I know that's an off-road version of the trailer, but the fact that the back of the trailer sits higher than where it connects to the saddle, or whatever it's called. I think it's just, what do they call like the saddle all over the place? Over here, I think we just call it like a fifth wheel. I don't think I've ever heard saddle, like, I know obviously in this game they do saddle high and saddle low, but I don't think I've ever heard of either. Where the hell was that trailer when I wanted it the other week? God knows. There's a normal one, it sits about level, but... Just quickly, I'm just going to get the Navistar if I've got it, just to see what they look like next to each other. Mark right, every inch counts. It certainly does. Counts twice if you put it in twice. That's what I learnt. To somebody else's detriment. She was walking like Hawking the next day. Navistar, what the hell? Do you know what? It'll probably be easier to just go and buy one. What the hell? Elongated wolf, I was going to say. Thought my flies were down. Thought they'd finally got a picture of me and my cock out. Where the hell is the Navistar? There he is. Makes that easy. I'll just quickly add like this shit on, so... So what does this go up to? 44 and it jumps to, yeah, 49. So this has already got the smallest tyres are like the biggest tyres on that truck I'm in now. But I can obviously go up to, yeah, 49s, which is more like it. And it looks like the Archers could accept an even bigger wheel than that. Rebel, yeah, fifth wheel, that's what I don't think I've ever heard them called like a saddle on anything except this game. To be fair, it's not a terrible name for it. I kind of see where they got the idea from. Obviously knew the loaf was going to be a goddamn horse, and you might need a saddle. But yeah, what do these two look like next to each other? I mean, you can just tell that the Navistar is like a meaty, beefed up version of a truck in general, which I believe in real life, Navistar, I think they take this truck and then the army kind of armorize it. I know that's not really a word, but you know what I mean. They take it, army it up, add some good shit to it, make it more of a beast. Well, let's go for a little drive in this, but I've got to be honest, we're already into the third truck. I was kind of hoping the first two would last a little bit longer. But if they're just going to keep getting stuck, I don't mind getting stuck on this game, that's obviously half the point, but when I'm going to start getting stuck on, like, you know, here, it's just like, yeah, I'll skip to another truck. That sort of shit doesn't interest me. I don't want a crappy truck that just isn't even remotely designed to go where, like, what the game is for, and then you just have to sit there trying to fling winches out. Yeah, that really doesn't interest me a lot at all, so... I will get bored of these trucks pretty damn quick. But again, if the modders very kindly do some versions that we can just use for free, then yeah, it's pretty cool. I appreciate that from them. Vanilla trucks, as it calls, 5-slot saddle low trailers are just meh. True, I've got them. Yeah, I'd say they're meh. I don't mind the 5-slot sideboard, whatever it's called. I can't even remember. The one I just checked is a pretty handy trailer. Every truck should have diff lock selectable, like in real life. Yeah, true. Again, I don't know why they cock block it so much. Maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. It could be possible. I was going to say when they add Phase 8, that's hopefully when we can get the suspension and stuff, but by then they might have changed their tune on at least diffs, if not the all-wheel drive as well, because I can see why people are kicking off. I mean, again, this is actually doing better than I thought through this bit, but it's the first bit of the first map, and 2 out of 3 trucks have just tapped out pretty instantly. This one, again, to its credit, I thought it'd probably just get bogged down and stop there, but it's actually... But you can just see with the lack of initial engine oomph could do with being upped. But yeah, just the fact that the entire front of the vehicle isn't putting any effort in just isn't really good enough on this game. Like I said, the rare exceptions like the P16, just because it's such a fat, monstrous truck that the size of the bank of rear wheels is like so planted in the ground that it does propel the truck forward, but stuff like this, it's just too light to... It needs every corner of the vehicle, every wheel touching the floor really needs to be putting its own effort in. Out of curiosity, does this do anything at night time, like with the... Yes, it's sort of... That is pretty cool, to be fair. Looks quite a nice effect. Again, they certainly, looks-wise, they look... All of them, I think, look pretty cool. They seem to have nailed it from that perspective. If all these trucks had ballpark, like, the handling and driving of, like, the Vorons or the Taiga, yeah, this would actually be a DLC pack I'd say is worth getting. At the minute, I'd say, unless, like, you know, you really like the way the paint work, which, again, is, I do, sort of, a thumbs up as far as that goes. But yeah, they're just not, I don't know, sort of not fit for purpose. Please Fox redo these. Yeah, that's true. Some Fox versions of these would be pretty cool. I have to say, this one is probably something about it I quite like. I know it's pretty limp and crap and all the rest of it as far as off-roading goes, but it's not just instantly getting stuck. Whether it's like the weight distribution, the back seems to be able to propel the front through some things. Probably a bit late, let's see if that dog thing appears. Run over it. Take this to White Valley. That's true. I will be sending them down the runway at some point. I mean, again, this is the sort of route I'll do on the review video. Well, I did not like hitting that tree. I don't know if I just had a bad angle there or not, but the fact that I kind of hit it, but it deflected me. And then again, it's got quite a rounded nose, so if you're going to hit trees, you're probably going to have to hit them within, like, the centre grill, otherwise you might just glance off them like I did. They seem like highway trucks, and highway trucks are pretty useless in the game most of the time. Yeah, that's the... I'd say that sort of sums it up pretty well. Yeah, so it can kill one, but... Which tells me there's not a hell of a lot of weight in this thing. It's not, like, weightless, but... It noticed it when it hit that first tree. And that's sort of like part of the issue as far as not having all-wheel drive goes. Yeah, there's just not enough weight to do it. What's the no, it's not really like a sleep cab, like a whole bloody cafe going on in there. You can get a coffee on it, it's like fucking Starbucks or something. There is roads just past this little bit. That's what I was hoping to make it to. I mean, again, this section has always been a little bit meh anyway, but yeah, they've really not set these up to succeed, which is kind of a bit harsh on, again, if I was the owner of Western Star, I'd not really be impressed. I don't know. It's kind of like adding a water pistol to Grand Theft Auto, if you know what I mean. Like, might be funny for a minute, but if you water pistol the army in the face and then they kill you, you'll soon be switching back to the miniguns and proper actual firearms. Actually, once you're going along on the road, steering's a little bit slow there. Loaf doesn't quit when he's still got a quarter of an engine left. It's not going to like it in high gear, it never does. Sitting there trying to fight the stalling. Yeah, well, I don't really know what to say. Well, I do. They're a bit shit for this game. But it's a shame because they actually, again, like, they look pretty cool I want to like them. We'll go this way around. I'll just go left past the farm and I won't go off-road. The front could do... It's a little... I don't know if it's slow to turn. I'm guessing more of the weight is at the back of this truck, which is probably why it was able to propel itself through certain muddy bits back there, because there's more weight at the back that's like the front's very light by comparison, but when it comes to steering it sort of translates to being a little bit understeery, a little bit slow to react at the front end. Truth lies, Jeff Special will certainly be trying them out. I'll go to the... I may as well go there pretty soon, to be honest. Like I said, it may not end up being the longest stream in the world, because at the same time I kind of wanted to go and mess around with these, but I don't really want to do like an actual review of them as I'm going along, because that'll kind of checkmate the review video a little bit. It hauls ass till you take 100 suspension. Oh, sorry, from that. I hope they'll fix the trucks, put all-wheel drive. Again, yeah, I agree with the bit I was able to read. They definitely need to add all-wheel drive. Just whatever it is in their head that they think they're gaining by not adding all-wheel drive, they're being idiots. Like, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Or it'd be like that Isle of Man racing game, and then adding bicycles. It's just like, yeah, it's funny for a minute. If it was free DLC, yeah, it'd be funny for a minute to go around the TT track on a bicycle, but you know goddamn well you ain't putting any big lap times in on a bicycle, and yeah, it'd just be a 2-minute gimmick. And sadly, like I say, there is a little bit of promise to this one. That first truck I used, which was what, the 1430 I believe, that was just a complete disaster, along with those 2 liftable axles that just immediately got in the way twice in like a minute. The 1424, yeah, it was disappointing. I've got to be honest, this I kind of like the most. Certainly, it's got a bit of oomph once you're just going along the road. Oh, shit. What on earth is all that there? Oh, if I can make that sign up. It's like one of them inflatable things that you see at the front of a car. Car showroom place. Truth lies. Wait a minute. The Queen's died. Yeah, she has apparently. Got what's his name? Well, I was going to say Prince Charles. Apparently, he's called King Charles III now. Yeah, it's one of them. I don't like. Not being harsh or anything either way. I couldn't really give a shit either way, but. I get like, it's pretty crazy that it's the Queen, if you know what I mean, that's been the Queen since like the 50s or whatever. It's pretty crazy, but I'm not really gonna like shed a tear over it, but at the same time I'm not kind of like, ha, she's dead or anything. It's, yeah, it is pretty crazy. Well, obviously since I've been born, it's just been the Queen is the Queen, but not anymore, so rest in peace and all that. Yeah, see, along these kind of dirt roads, this truck can still just about handle itself. Again though, it's too understeery at the minute. And again, if it had all-wheel drive, it'd be pulling the front round the corner rather than pushing the front round the corner. So I think all-wheel drive would help kind of tighten that up a little bit as well. I have to have all-wheel drive in an update, kind of regretting buying them. Yeah, I mean... well, yeah, I agree in the sense of, like, at least for me, I can get them and make a few videos on them and whatnot. So, I wouldn't go as far as to say I regret buying them, but, yeah, I could certainly put them in the practically of no use to me category. I mean, certainly this one, I do like the paint job. I like the fact that it lights up. Well, not lights up, but it highlights itself pretty well at night. That's pretty cool. The wolf paint job does look very nice. This one looks very nice. They obviously didn't even bother with a paint job for that. That first truck I tried was... Again, it looks cool. Even with the double droppable axles and that, it's all great. But yeah, it just doesn't translate into anything usable. Not a huge royal fan myself, but she was a truck mechanic driver during the World War II. Respect for that. That's what I mean. She just like the thing I sort of... Even though I'll make a joke about anything, so I'm not saying it's like off limits, but it feels a little bit low-hanging fruit, a little bit tactless to be sort of taking the piss, like for the sakes of taking the piss. Yeah, she was like sort of one of them. It's not the Queen that's died that's sort of made people in England a little bit. No, it's sort of more... It's like one of the... You know, just like something from the old school that's ended. And it's like... Then you look at the rest of the royal family and you just think, by comparison, like, Jesus Christ, I'd happily rather have the Queen back than any of them, if that makes sense. So it's not specifically the Queen, it's just kind of a sign of the times that it's like... The old school shit's ending, and it's, yeah. That's about it, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. I did hear a joke that I thought was pretty good though. They were saying in Liverpool, because obviously now the Queen's died, in theory we'll have to change all of our banknotes to, obviously instead of having the Queen's head on it, it'll now have a, yeah, what, King Charles' head on it. But someone said, oh, it's alright, in Liverpool we won't need to, because all the notes are already covered in Charlie. I thought it was quite a good joke. People got it out pretty early. Yeah, the steering I'm definitely not an amazing fan of. So I could see some in shave you done for this game. Sorry, I might have... Yeah, I don't know if I just sort of... I don't know. I might have missed half of that comment. Do you know what, I've already killed this thing. It seems to die pretty easily. What I'll do is recover it. What is the health on it? 170 on the engine, and if I go and crash into something now, how much damage does it take? I'm guessing quite a bit, because I don't normally notice that I've wrecked engines that quick. That took 66, so it should have about 104 left or whatever. Oh, there's a White Western Star. I've probably broke the suspension. What the hell? Am I beached? On its tyre? Fucking hell. Who the hell made this? Does it bring your kid to work then? Well, there you go, there's the engine gone. Yeah, so the engine is a little bit on the delicate side. I don't really think it makes much of a difference. I was going to say like front bumpers, I don't know if putting... It's not even really got like the big bull bar front bumpers anyway. I honestly don't think it makes much of a difference. Like, I remember trying it back in the day with various other vehicles, and I tend to find that regardless of what bumper you have, it'll take the damage it's going to take. I can't say for certain, because obviously every time you crash it's a slightly different number. But yeah, with all-wheel drive and diff lock, these trucks would probably actually be fun to use. Yeah, that's the sort of shame of it, really. That's what just some people, whoever's at this company, not all of them, it could be 99% of them are on the right page. Whoever calls the shots pretty high up, though, just doesn't know what they're doing. I don't even mean it to be harsh, it's just, again, it's sort of... like, it just makes you think, do they actually play the game at all? Because I appreciate whoever probably designed this truck and all the rest of it has probably drove it and been like, yeah, Jesus, this thing needs all-wheel drive. But then they're going to have to say to their boss, can we put all-wheel drive on it? And then somebody high up who, again, is probably in a suit, collecting fat paychecks and holidaying on yachts and stuff, just doesn't have a clue. And then they'll go, oh no. And yeah. They don't realise that they've just kind of nerfed their own product. Like, from a business sense, it makes no sense not to add all-wheel drive. Because if you wanted to use this truck without wheel drive, if you've got the option to click it on and off, then obviously anyone can do that to their heart's content. But yeah, to just flat out not have it as an option, I mean, yeah, it's like having a dick and not having the option to have an erection. I mean, I'd still get some fun out of it, but you know what I mean. Why would you? Well, if I had a little switch on my balls that could turn hard-ons off, I wouldn't turn it off. Lunacy. We'll buy the DLC, but only when mod versions come to console. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, to be honest. As far as, like I said, looks-wise, they all look great and all the rest of it, but yeah, I've got to say, so far, my recommendation to people would be, yeah, don't bother getting it, because, I don't know, wait until I make a video about it, and then you can look at it, and there you go, you just saved yourself £5 or whatever it, I think Rebel said it was it $6 in America, or $7 maybe? It was $4.99 over here, so £5. Which isn't the worst deal for 3 trucks, but for 3 trucks that, yeah, don't have all-wheel drive and all the rest of it, it's, I don't know, and again, it's just like, what on earth are they thinking? And if they all did have all-wheel drive and that, yeah, I'd be closer to saying, yeah, do you know what? For £5 you get 3 trucks, it's probably not too bad, but yeah, at the minute I'd sort of not recommend them. To make it have all-wheel drive and diffs as an upgrade you would find in the world. But that's what I'm hoping. If by the time they had Phase 8, they might have changed their minds. If they get enough feedback from people saying, what the fuck is the point? I think there's been situations in the past where they've changed their mind on a couple of things they've added, where they've kind of realised, like, yeah, this probably wasn't the best idea, and then I think they've retroactively added stuff. I mean, it wasn't, I don't even know if they ever originally intended to, but the one of the highway trucks was the GMC Mh9500, and that obviously used to just be rear-wheel drive, and when they added all-wheel drive for that, it absolutely changed the truck. Like, in the long run, it could end up better, and the only way in which I'm saying that is like using the GMC Mh9500 as an example. In this game, when they balance vehicles, if something has all-wheel drive, they'll balance it around, like, they don't want to make it too OP. And then, like, the GMC Mh9500 didn't have all-wheel drive, so they had to make it, yeah, good enough that it could work even if it wasn't too great without all-wheel drive. But then when they added all-wheel drive, they didn't nerf anything else to kind of balance it all back out. So you end up, like, the GMC Mh9500 is a bargain now in this game for the money, for how well it can off-road and all that now. So we ended up with a better truck than we would have got if they added it with all-wheel drive from the start, if that makes sense, because, yeah, they just didn't take the time to rebalance it, and I think that's for the best. I don't think the GMC needs rebalancing, but I've got a feeling that if they thought about it, they'd now nerf something on it. They'd make it have a smaller fuel tank, make, yeah, the engine take damage easier. There'd just be something that they'd do to punish the truck for having all-wheel drive, whereas if these haven't, and then they end up kind of, everyone just says, oh, what the fuck, add all-wheel drive, and then they probably won't take the time, and again in a good way, to, yeah, fully go over all the vehicles. They'll just go, oh, alright, and add all-wheel drive. And then once they do have all-wheel drive, yeah, they might sort of average out to be pretty decent. Again, I know they're not going to be, like, you know, Taiga, Voron, sort of those levels, but that's fine. Like, I don't mind. I don't know, in some ways it'd be interesting to use this sort of truck. I used the Navistar for ages. That's definitely more off-road ready than this thing, but I've got no problem attempting to use this kind of truck. But yeah, it's going to need all-wheel drive, there's no two ways about it. Diffs as well would be great. I'm certainly not saying either or. It's close. Not today, game. But yeah, like, it'd have to be, if I had to pick one or the other, I'd definitely be picking all-wheel drive. But if we can have both, diffs and all-wheel drive, then yeah, even better. They added all-wheel drive for the twin steer in a later region. Yeah, exactly, so... And that was one where I think people were kind of enjoying the truck, but yeah, it was just like, it could really do... See, just little things like now, just trying to turn here, because the front's not biting in and doing anything, it's not pulling my front end round, so I just keep reversing into that, so I'll just have to do it. Like, winch to this tree. It's not the end of the world, but it's just little things like that, the way it makes the vehicles behave. The fuck is my winch point? Like, it could have just done that without a winch if it had a wheel drive, basically. And again, the engine, I've not even really noticed, but I'm already half damaged somehow, so... This thing doesn't take the hits too well. Maybe that could get fixed a bit if and when we get the suspension. I know it's only going to add an inch bigger wheel, but maybe it'll just lift the front end up enough to where it doesn't take as much damage. Testing it and put it in before release date. Yeah, you never know. I can see why people are complaining about it in Discord and all that. So yeah, I could definitely see them changing their mind on it. It's just an odd decision to do in the first place, though. It's like, whoever actually gets to sign off on the decision, can't someone just duct tape them to a chair and make them play this game for 50 hours straight? And then say, right, now make your decisions. Now you actually know what it's like to drive various vehicles in the game. Let's go in the trailer store, see if we can get something to fix her up. Oh shit, I'm not really going anywhere in particular, to be honest. I'm just kind of driving around as I'm chatting away. That looks quite a cool trailer. Let's refuel it while I'm actually here. Michael Myers, good luck. Amor is hard if you've never done those maps before. Yeah, that's true. Amor's definitely... was like the real deal of regions, at least. Was that the one... yeah, with Cosmodrome, where you get the Zik 605R? That'd be my recommendation in general. Try and get the Ziks as quick as you can. You have to do a couple of missions to get to Cosmodrome. But the Ziks definitely kind of helped average the region out to where at least we had a vehicle that could kind of handle it in the long run. Was that proved roads? It's supposed to be maybe paved roads in Phase 8 apart from the fields. Yeah, again, I've not looked at Phase 8 at all, just out of... when they add it, like, I can... it's sort of my honest first impressions. I've not seen anything to do with it. I don't even know if they were, like, thumbnails of actual in-game footage, but that's all... occasionally on my scrolling through YouTube, I'll see whether it's, like, SD11 or TC Gaming... yeah, just one of their videos will probably pop up, so I can see the thumbnail of their video and that's it. But I just never click on them, yeah, just so it's an honest first opinion from me. Michael, been there 7 times before, still haven't launched a rocket. Have you not? To be fair, I left it for a while because people were saying there was a glitch in it, and I think it did the glitch for me as well, where halfway through like the cutscene it just went to black, like the screen went black, and I think there was snow sort of raining down, but that was about it. I don't know if they've fixed that by now. You'd sort of hope they have, but again, I'll put it past them. One of the best deal trucks in this game is the Gmc Mh9500 all-wheel drive diff lock, only 26k, 47-inch tyres, just my opinion. No, I agree, dude. It's I wouldn't say it's like the best vehicle in the game or anything, but yeah, for the money, like as far as if you can get it early game and you, well, I suppose you'll still have to go. Was it in Mandra or something? No, where they added the all-wheel drive for the GMC, but yeah, either way, assuming you've got all the bits and bobs for it, it's yeah, it is a great truck. When I did the review on it, as when it had all-wheel drive, it was yeah, it was decent. I like it. The only thing I wouldn't do with it is haul heavy cargo, like if I had to have a pretty heavy loaded trailer and all that. But other than that, I'd it completely took that from like a bit of a meh truck that I'll just skip and it doesn't really bother me to I'd happily use that even on like, yeah, the latest maps. Brilliant, yeah. I think the rocket worked for me. Seems like it works if you make sure to launch during daylight. Yeah, do you know what? It's funny you mentioned that, because a few people might have said to me if you launch at night it looks pretty cool, and I might have ended up trying to do that. But I believe the same people also said to me, however, there is a bug and it might just kind of, yeah, like just the screen goes black but there was snow sort of still going. Rebel Cola. Just trying to think. Cola, was that Lake Cod and all that? Oh yeah, in fact, yeah, I know exactly where you get the Mh9500 suspension from, I believe. I think it was near the cliffs on Lake Cod, like sort of just after where I used to drive along the cliffs. It was like down a really awkward hill that's slippy. Yeah, they fixed the glitch, but I'd already launched the rocket. Yeah, same here, dude, and it's one of them, because I can't reset the missions, I can't ever go back and get the footage, really, which is one of them where... And it showed you there, it was in a bit of a higher gear, so it started wheel spinning. Again, to this truck's credit over the first or second I tried, really. At least once the front bogs down in this, the back appears to have enough weight there and all the rest of it that it kind of pushes the front through, but yeah, it's just not a... I don't know. That's not a good deal to not have all-wheel drive, but have enough weight at the back to kind of wing it a little bit. Not sure what that was, but I'll grab it anyway. That's what she said it was. Oh, probably something to do with this bridge. Well, no, I'm going to try and go flying off, but... in-game says no. And again, because there's no front trying to claw its way over. I didn't really need to do that, but I'm glad I did. Xeon the best. I don't actually use it much. Same here, to be honest, but as far as, like, I fully agree, though, it's a very decent truck, and especially for the money, like, it's pretty cheap in the game. It's certainly nowhere near the price of, like, the top-end stuff. It eats stuff like the Derry 4520 or whatever it's called. I think it'd beat that in a lot of situations, and it's probably about a quarter of the price of that. Considering the P512 still struggles hard on hard maps. Yeah, true, yeah, that's not all-wheel drive as well, but at least that's quite a tall vehicle, isn't it? If just for the sakes of a comparison. I'll go and find it. Just to see what it looks like next to this thing. So it's got 51s. Yeah, this just looks like quite a massive truck in general. I think I said a while ago, it sort of looks like a normal truck that someone put on sort of Microsoft Paint and scaled it up a little bit. And you can just sort of see how much taller it sits. The wheels are bigger, the rear chassis, it's just more off-road design. To be fair, this is the most highway-looking truck of all three that we've added. But yeah, I think this one, the P512, can just about get away with it. In fact, I was going to say, I want to do it up first, but I could go for a little off-road in there. Ah, shit, I haven't even got the engines. What a disaster. Oh yeah, there's not even any bigger wheels, engageable. So at least, yeah, this has got diffs as well. I'll head to White Valley soon. May as well jump them off the cliff, see how they do as far as drowning and all that goes. Well, I've got the normal engine, because I've not got the upgrades. But even on the standard engine, the power doesn't feel too bad. But yeah, just this thing like sits tall enough, it's got big enough wheels. It can just kind of handle the fact that it's not all-wheel drive. Sort of better anyway. I mean, this is a little bit like a baby version of the P16. Kieran Cousins, what's your favourite truck in the game? If just talking trucks, still got to say the Dolphin, the what's it, Azov something, the Azov Dolphin. That's probably like my favourite. I do like though the Zik 605R. Like that is objectively just a very nice base vehicle to have that is gonna be equipped for most situations. The only thing that's sort of missing is like the chain tyres. So if you're on any like icy road maps, it can be a little bit awkward. But yeah, so I'd say probably between them two. Obviously, favourite vehicle is the Loaf. Goddamn professional. Yeah, just driving this, I mean, you can see, obviously there's no power to the front, but it's got enough weight at the back and all the rest of it, and just the size of the truck, then how high the chassis sits, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, you could imagine if this had an axle in the middle that's a droppable axle or liftable, whatever it is, it'd absolutely get in the way, like, just be a complete pain in the arse. See how well it can kill these trees while we're here. Farmer comes running out. Like, you what, mate? I didn't hit no fields of corn. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, yeah, there you go. That's the weight difference. Like, this thing's got enough weight in it to... I probably could have killed this tree as well. I'm going to have to try now. Eyeballing him. Eyeing him up. Tree stump. Fucking seen it the last minute as well. Goddamn tree stump. Long day. Remember when someone added a mod where you could apparently rip them out the floor? I tried it for hours, I did not get one to pop out the ground. I'm going back. One of your streams, and also think GMC Brigadier is a good truck. The GMC Brigadier, I don't dislike the map or maps that we got given it. I think it was the Amur region or whatever, and it just really didn't suit those maps or anything at all. But I appreciate at the time, I believe that's when it came out on the Nintendo Switch, like this whole game, so for a lot of people they were starting on these kind of maps, I suppose Smithville Dam, Black River, is it Northport or whatever, like the first Alaskan maps and that, so I think it would have made more sense for them. For those of us that were already like kind of done everything, all the previous missions and blah blah blah, and we were on the Amur region, there wasn't yeah, it wasn't the most useful in that sense. But again, I certainly didn't dislike it. I wouldn't say it was like a terrible vehicle or anything. So even there, at least this has got enough weight and blah 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 to get out of what it did just there, but the fact that it even thought about getting stuck is like, you're already kind of at your limit when you're just with the truck. Then if you try and factor in you might be trying to tow another vehicle, you've got cargo, trailer, all that sort of stuff. It can soon, it can overwhelm some of the bigger, better trucks in this game, let alone, yeah, starting something out with no all-wheel drive and all the rest of it is just kind of... You're already doing the truck a pretty big disservice. Damn. Maybe that tree is unkillable. I have got the weakest engine though. Well, I'm gonna have to, in fact, not the loaf. Even though he's a goddamn professional. Twice twin stair. If it doesn't remove the tree, it isn't removable. We need to know. Well, I do. We're gonna have to find out. Favourite scout is loaf. He's a goddamn professional. Everyone needs to get themselves a loaf. Funnily enough as well, the yeah, it's probably not quite a week ago or something. I went on to the Teespring website, and since I tried it about 2 years ago, ish, probably coming up 2 years ago, probably not quite, and then tried it about a year ago, and I couldn't get it to work on the iPhone. I tried it on, I borrowed my mum's laptop to try and get it on there, and it was just a bit of a disaster. Partly because once I'm on the laptop, I don't know how to get pictures or anything to the laptop. But yeah, since then they've seemed to have updated the website a bit, so I was actually able to make a couple of things on there. And funnily enough, it said at the bottom of the page, click here to download the app, and then I clicked that, but it said not available in my country, so it's not fully there yet, but yeah, might have to get a few loaf shirts on the go or something. Funny enough, right now I'm wearing Horse of a Vehicle. It's like a sample t-shirt I ordered a while back, just to see what the shirt material and that was like, and it was pretty nice. Oh my god. One day I should be able to do it from here. We're getting high gear. Twin Steer is my second favourite truck. Damn, maybe that tree is unkillable. Credit where it's due. It was an enemy, now it's one of the boys. What? There was something else I was going to go and mess around with. Oh yeah, that was it. Have I got all my trucks? Got that one. Where is it? 57X. So yeah, 57X, that one, and that one. Let's go to White Valley. Yeah, sorry, second favourite truck. Pros outweigh the cons a lot for me. Yeah, the twin steer, I do. I like that a lot. Obviously, I'd use the twice twin steer quite a lot. Because I'm normally, like, when I'm doing live streams and that, I'm usually on the mod thing just for the sort of variety of mods. But yeah, even originally, I believe the twin steer is in my top 10 favourite sort of trucks, like the video that I made on them. And that was before they added the all-wheel drive as well. I like how much power the twin steer's got. It's also got the highway gearbox, which I prefer. It's got the biggest tyres in the game that lets you have the highway gearbox set up. And between that, like when you put it in high gear, it yeah, it's pretty bloody good at dropping the hammer. Let's try this one out. This is like the worst vehicle. It'd be interesting to see if it can even get over this little snowbank that sort of separates the garage and the runway. It should get over there, but I've got a feeling these droppable axles are going to be a pain in the ass. So I can go in low, but there's no diffs or anything. I will lift those, yeah. See? It's like first little bump of snow. And you can just see then how like the back end sort of dropped down a little bit afterwards. They just serve no objective gain. And it's every time you're going over the brow of a hill like this, that's when they're going to be a pain in the arse. At least here there's like snow, so they're kind of sinking into the tracks my front tyres have created. And to be fair, this is like a section of, it's kind of like death snow. It's like the original horrifically, painfully slow snow. But yeah, if this is struggling on this sort of stuff, then it's definitely not looking good for it. Let's have a quick look inside while... I mean, the horn's not terrible. But you don't get much leg room on that seat, do you? Some pretty short fucking knees. Quite like how the dash sort of sweeps around though. That's what the old E30 BMW I've got has a similar dash. Obviously it's right-hand drive, but would correct that. Rebel just drive around, yeah, pretty much. Like I said, fucking hell, it's already been an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be like a 5-hour stream or anything like that. I'm kind of conflicted between, obviously I wanted to play around with these vehicles. I didn't know what I was getting myself, so I was kind of going in blind as far as doing them on a live stream, but yeah, I don't want to review them too much, because I'd like I'll do the review videos, which are pretty sort of fun to do and mess around on anyway. But I'd also like to show you guys kind of what they're about. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. My advice would be just, I wouldn't buy the DLC at the minute. They may well add all-wheel drive though, so for anyone that has already bought it, and if you're sort of feeling a bit of buyer's remorse, which I could fully understand, yeah, all hope is probably not lost, because they are new, and if everybody's already saying, what the fuck, then I think you can Jeff special it. I think that counts. Again, if it had a little bit more oomph to it, probably could have seen a bit more, but that was a good start. So where's the snorkels? Oh, so the snorkel's there. Are we talking a floaty truck? I mean, either way, the front ain't going to grip regardless, obviously, because it's not all-wheel drive, so it could be a floater. I'll leave it, because again, I'll test it more in the review. But I was able, I'd officially say that did Jeff special. Which is obviously, do you know what, I'm going to remove the roof rack. I like the fact that it's got a roof rack. But it just might affect the weight a little bit. In fact, I suppose I may as well take the sideboard off as well. Michael Myers with non-modded trucks. I mean, I apologise. I might have missed the first comment there. Is that Mika Richard? How does that truck do on ice? I can go and test it out. I'll go to Lake Cobd afterwards. Go for a little spin around there. My gut feeling. I mean, it's got chain tyres, so at least you're going to get a certain amount of grip. But obviously, yeah, the front not being all-wheel drive and all that, that's not going to pull your front end round on the ice, so I imagine the oversteering will probably be even more exaggerated. To be fair, other than the fact that the front's putting no effort in, it's not really catching on anything. And I probably should drive like a Tiger over here just to show you how horrifically bad this snow is for whatever reason. I don't know if they made it as like a, not a punishment, but you know what I mean, as in like just cutting over from the garage straight over to the airport, which I've done this trip, I don't know, 1,000 times. Probably more, so I've definitely had my fair share of experience of cutting across this little bit. And it always is pretty terrible. But yeah, just the front biting in now, I'd already be zipping off because it'd already be like on the grip zone, whereas it'll reach it, yeah, about now. Any advantage? Probably not really. I can't think of anything that you're going to get with these trucks that... I mean, again, I will absolutely say the paint jobs look cool. Well, on 2 out of 3 of them. But yeah, it's not really going to get you out of the mud and ice and all the rest of it. I've got a feeling this one's probably going to Jeff Special. It's already going for a little drift before even in 8. Yeah. I might hit this post. I tell you, what I would give to rip that fucking post out of the ground. I'd love to be able to add up the amount of hours that I've spent flying down that runway and then I hit that fucking post. Whoever put that post there, I don't know. I'm doing it all on my own. What was that, sorry? 57X floats, does it? Is that another one then where they've put like big snorkels on and it'll never ever ever need to use them because it'll float even if you ever do go in water deep enough. Justin Lynch, this truck feels front heavy to me. It's why I think the 47 struggles more than the 57. Yeah, it could well be, to be honest. And I think that's as well why, yeah, once the front sort of gets bogged down a bit, the back's not as planted. So you're just sort of getting more wheel spin than like actually kind of really digging in and pushing the front through. I figure with all those wheels, won't it do better on ice? Just a thought. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Well, are you on about the one with the double drop axles? I don't think they'll make much difference, because as well, even if you put chain tyres on, those drop axles don't change to chain tyres, so they'll add 0 grip or anything either way. I know they're not powered in the first place, but even if they were, like, yeah, they'll just skid. I mean, even going down here now, this is technically like an icy runway. That's like having chained on, I can actually grip a little bit. If I had any other tyre on now, it'd be swerving all over the place, even worse. It just wants to pull that way. I mean, to be fair, one thing I will say is this seems a hell of a lot better at taking engine damage, or not taking engine damage, because I'm assuming that would delete the shit. I might try that one again in a minute, but let's go and try this one. I assume if I hit the post in this one, it'll completely delete the engine in one hit. It's funny though that this one hasn't got a roof rack, but it appears to take engine damage pretty easily, whereas that one that I just hit the post twice with has a roof rack, but I think I only took 2 damage on the engine when I just did that last hit. P12 is what I use for logging. You can have medium logs, was it? I'm going to say and long logs. Lone Wolf versus Lone Post. Poor Lone Wolf. I'm going to say that post wins every goddamn time. Problem is, on like that runway, it sort of leans off to the right a little bit, and it just, especially when you go into like Jeff Special mode, it just starts to swerve that way, and there's nothing you can really do, because if you steer too hard to the left, it'll just suddenly grip, swing left, and you'll drift sideways and all the rest of it. It is a nightmare. Like, again, whoever put that post in should be duct taped to a chair and forced to just drive up and down this runway for hours and hours and hours, and then they can keep hitting the post. They should, yeah, duct tape them to a chair and make them successfully jump off that ramp 100 times, and then when they hit the post 400 fucking times, they'll suddenly realise, oh yeah, maybe we should remove that. Because whoever added the runway and the fact that there is kind of a little bit of a ramp at the end of the cliffs. It kind of feels like somebody had in mind that you could fly down the runway and jump off, but then someone else, probably the same person who decides not to put all-wheel drive on these vehicles, yeah, it's just like, oh, let's put a post there. Just to make some kind of cost to the enjoyment. Got a feeling this one's going to Jeff special. It's feeling pretty, the engine feels punchier than the others. I'm not sure if that's because it weighs less or whatever, but... Problem is though, yeah, it's going to try and drift over to the right. I just know it. Oh, I added a bit of left. Well, that went pretty well. Yeah, actually jumped fairly far. Let's wait for it to sit down. So yeah, is this the 57? So this is like, could be a floater. Oh, this is definitely a floater. God damn. So yeah, of course the obvious thing to do, it floats and then have snorkels that go like above the windscreen. Yeah, we'll need a goddamn professional to zombie winch it or something. Just for that out of curiosity, I'm just going to go around that way. Just to see if it takes longer or not. Check out the mod for realistic logs trailer. We'll check that out. Is that like a newish mod or has that been out a little while? I probably won't get it tonight, by the way, because I nearly got one of the new mods. I think it was like the first mod on the page, but I need to go into my mods and delete a load of stuff as well. I've kind of run out of memory again. I used to spend hours back in the day drifting. What vehicle was... You know, funnily enough, it was out the highway trucks, not the Clip, not the GMC. The other one, like the Transtar. You could get that, like, catch it perfectly around this corner and drift it. I'm sure I might have put a successful drift in one of the videos back in the day. I didn't make like a whole video about it. I spent way longer messing around just drifting around there than was kind of ever intended to make it into a video. This game, I had to quit gaming for a while, just get bored. Yeah, you just got to like mix it around a little bit. I mean, it certainly suit me better if they were releasing content a bit more back to back, because I also get the extra aspect of like making the videos other than just playing the game, then I'm editing, and that takes a lot of time as well. But yeah, every now and then it's sort of nice to like either put it down for a bit or jump on another game. One thing I learned when I was doing Call of Duty videos, I was just more for my own, I don't know, achievement sounds a little bit rich, but I wanted to get the Damascus camo, I believe it was called, on Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Yeah, it was just something I wanted to unlock for myself, but I was obviously going to make videos on it once I did. And yeah, the grind just to unlock the Damascus camo, by the time I'd got it, I honestly don't think I've played Call of Duty Modern Warfare since. I made myself so bored of the game. See, again, they all just pull right and hit that bloody post. I actually kind of deflected it off there. That was a pretty successful go, yeah, and it was just, I kind of killed it, so it's one of them where, even when I'm playing this game, that's why I don't want to absolutely max it out, just forcing a video out every day for the hell of it, whilst there's not a lot going on, because I really do enjoy this game, and it's one of them where, when it sort of quietens down a bit, I'm happy to quieten down a bit myself, just because I don't want to kind of overdose on the game, and then when they actually release a new thing, I sort of am already a bit bored by it. I'll go for a little drive across the map, we'll see how this thing handles on the icy roads, and then I'll go to Lake Hovd, go and drift it around the lake. It's certainly, the back end comes out quite nicely, but if the front end had power, I could kind of catch the drift a bit better, but yeah, there's just nothing there pulling the front end back round. and it's not really the sort of game where you can like feather the throttle. You can, but you know, it's not like a precision drifting game or anything. Funnily enough as well, I was on was it last week I think I did it, was on, I don't know, it was, do you know what, it was the live stream a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about that Mazda 787B video on YouTube, where you just hear it nailing down the, I think it's called like the Mulsanne Straight or something on the Le Mans track. And yeah, I ended up going to watch that video again because it does sound insane. Hey up, might actually have a little bug thing going on there. It kind of might be locked on that post, on that sign, whatever it is. Yeah, so I ended up going on to not Grand Theft Auto, Gran Turismo Sport. I've not got the Gran Turismo 7, and I did a well, it was a combination of things. There was a guy called Stephen Beloff who lapped the Nürburgring, or Nordschleife, whatever they call it, in 6:11, sorry, in real life though, which is like one of the all-time fastest laps around there ever. And he did it in a Porsche 962C or something. And then I've got that vehicle on Gran Turismo, so I ended up lapping that. And for some reason, I was getting like 550s on the times, which obviously it's like probably a bit easier to do a faster lap time on the game. I just had a feeling I could get as low as 524, so I started aiming for that. Got 524, and then I went and did it in the other vehicles. There's like a Jag XJ-R9, Mazda 787B, the Mercedes Sauber C9, and oh, it's like a Nissan R9 2CP or whatever it's called. But then I ended up lapping the Nürburg in 5:23 in the Mazda 787, so I might make a video on that at some point, because I've still got the Isle of Man TT video to do as well. I tried again a little while back, not like last week or anything, to get a quicker time than 15:57, but I never managed it in the end. I kept getting like 15:58, 15:59, 16:01, kept getting bloody close, but never quite got it. So yeah, I might just end up, I mean, not like a full-on race week, but I might just add a few videos before they put Phase 8 out, of like do the Isle of Man TT lap. Yeah, probably the Mazda 787B lap in the Nürburgring, just because it was just the sound of it. I was enjoying myself just lapping, yeah, lapping it. And 5:23, it's a pretty quick lap, to be fair. I think, well, with the Mercedes Sauber C9 or whatever, there's a DLC on there where Lewis Hamilton raced it and he got 540. And I don't know if the settings are different, but yeah, I got 524 in the Mercedes, so shit all over Lewis Hamilton's time. And then, yeah, I got a 523 in the Mazda 787B. And that's with no traction control and all the rest of it, so she's a lively little beast, but we got around there. Keeping to the non-mod rule 100% for your playthrough can be tough sometimes. Don't be tempted by mods. True, I've got a playthrough of each, is the way I've sort of done it. So I've got a modded playthrough and a non-modded playthrough. And other than money, that's the only one mod that I did use on my non-mod playthrough. I just went and added like 100 million or whatever, just because when I'm making videos, and like for example earlier when I would, just to demonstrate what a Navistar looks like next to this, I went and bought a Navistar. Yeah, I'd just spend all my money far too fast, and I'd have to spend hours grinding money. Funnily enough, I know I could move this derry out of the way, but just to show you, like, just to cut around the snow, so I didn't have to hit the derry or whatever. And yeah, I'm stuck. I mean, it's going to go eventually, but if those front wheels were biting in, it would help the situation. I'm going to have to do it that way. But yeah, little things like that, that just wouldn't even be an issue with an all-wheel drive vehicle. Oh, sorry man, jump there. Mods if I'm really tired. it's one of them. Like, I quite like having. It's ended up really for the most part that I go on my mod playthrough during the live streams, which is like what I'm on now. Yeah, it's better. I liked doing like the non-mod thing just to do everything by like what the game has set as the. Again, as I use the term difficulty loosely because we might not always agree on what they consider difficulty and all that, but yeah, and then it's nice also just to mess around like with a mod playthrough. And just, yeah, have nice vehicles, because some of the vehicles they haven't made good enough in this game. I mean, these would be good examples. I know the DLC, not just purely in-game stuff, but when modders make versions of these where you can have all-wheel drive and all the rest of it, I'll be driving them over these versions. Feel we take a lot less damage on roads since the last update. I'm not sure, particularly because I've just been driving new vehicles. The one place, there is somewhere I can test. In fact, where am I? Mountain River. There's not really. Have they even built that bridge? No. There is somewhere I can kind of test that. I'll be travelling for a minute. I'll go to... what's it called? Not Flooded Foothills. Factory Grounds. I'll do the cargo container contest in a Taiga. And I'll kind of know from then, because I've done about 300 odd runs on the cargo container run. And originally, back in the day, that's when they updated it to make the road damage worse. And my Taiga suddenly started taking a beating before I even got to the end of the mission, so I can go and try that. And I'll... oh no, yeah, Drownlands. Did I say Drownlands or did I say Factory Grounds? I think I said Factory Grounds. Well, if I did, then yeah, I was wrong. I meant Drownlands. I forgot again already. Got a fucking brain like a sieve sometimes. I've got a brain like a sieve, and then I remember some random piece of information from like 18 years ago that is of no use to anyone. As I've not played in a couple of weeks until today. I've not, to be honest, the last time I played was that live stream, I think 2 weeks ago. Last week, again, my cheek was aching, but it wasn't really that. I was just like, I'll skip it for a week. But I was supposed to put a message up a bit sooner saying I'll skip it tonight, so I apologise for that. I put, it was Smokey and the Bandit. I was watching Smokey and the Bandit because it was on... I don't know, it must be Netflix or something. And, yeah. The plan was, I'll watch the start of this and then I'll put a message saying, like, I'm going to skip it anyway. And then, yeah, I completely just got lost in the film. And then suddenly at, like, 22 minutes past 2, I was like, oh, shit. And, yeah. So I was a little bit, like, last minute with the message, so I apologise for that. I was loving... Smoking the Bandit far too much. It's funny though, 'cause I believe the first Smoking the Bandit was 1977, and it was just at the beginning of the film where they said they were saying, oh, the police have got them pesky like CB radios now, and it was just funny when you think like how far technology and all the rest of it has come since then. Like now they'll have bloody spy drones and satellites looking at you, they'll be tracking your phone, your car, they've got a helicopter chasing you, all sorts of shit. Whereas, yeah, back in like the original Smoking the Bandit days, they were worried about the coppers having bloody CB radios. But yeah, I do love Smoking the Bandit film. Jackie Gleason is a he's funny in that, and obviously the Bandit's cool and all the rest of it. I like the snowman. What was that, Jerry Reed or whatever? But the truck he's got. That's why, like, they're sort of a little bit like the Navistar looks, all that. Even though over here we have cab-over trucks, we don't really have trucks that have like a nose sticking out the front of it. But I've always preferred the look of sort of like American trucks over English trucks. And yeah, Smoking the Bandit is probably like a pretty big reason for that. I'll get the singles. It seems like you need these DLCs to get the mod. Oh yeah, that is true though. Yeah, they yeah, for anyone who's like, you'll have to get the DLC, yeah, to get the mod, otherwise it just won't let you get the mod. Which is a bit of a pain, but strictly speaking, I get why they do that, because otherwise we could all just circumvent buying the DLC and just wait for like the mod version to come out. Obviously, if it was up to me, I'd just say fuck it, let us have everything. But I do get from a strictly business point of view why they do that. But it is a good point though. Like you'll have to get this DLC if you want mod versions of them. Yeah, I did do the engine and everything. Right. Go and see if it takes a beating or not. Until I've not done this for a while. Oh my god, driving like Mr. Bean. Let's be able to slam it into reverse. Yeah, it's not too bad. One of my favourite films. Oh, sorry man, it just jumped. It's one of the best thrillers ever made, and one of the best car chase movies ever. Yeah, sorry, what film was that? I missed that, and one of the best car chase movies ever. What would car chase movies? Or was it the Bandit? I was going to say, when I hear car chase movies, I don't know if it is the best car chase, but it's certainly up there. It was that Bullet film, where is it? Wasn't it like a 71 Dodge Charger thing chasing a Mustang? I know that's a bit legendary. Well, I was watching something the other week. There's a car chase through somewhere in America. I can't think for the life of me off the top of my head what the film's called, but they actually filmed it like they didn't have permission to film, so they just said, fuck it, let's film. Oh, Joel, I'm sure I've seen that. What cars are in it, please? You know, like what chases each other and stuff. I'm pretty damn certain I've seen that film. I just can't like picture any footage of it in my head to get started from. Jewel, is that the one with the truck that's chasing people? Again, I'd bet money I've seen it. I just can't, off the top of my head, it's not. Yeah, I can't think of any footage. Yeah, some other film though they're filming in America, and yeah, they wanted to do like a chase sequence through some town, but they didn't get permission, so they just did it anyway. And they ended up crashing into a guy who was nothing to do with the film. He was just driving along, and they crashed into him. Do you know what? I need to start this again because I wasn't even paying attention to what I'm doing. And yeah, he ends up like, you know, the crash is in the film and all that, but that guy was nothing. He was just driving on his way to work, and the chase sequence they were filming just so happened to crash into him, and yeah, they kind of didn't have permission to do it or anything. 62, is that like the Peterbilt thing? I'm pretty certain I do know which film you mean. Does it look a little bit like the White Western Star in this game? It's one of those films I've not seen for probably like 20, 25 odd years or something. It's the sort of thing, actually, if they had it on like Netflix or something, I'd probably watch it. Right, I'm in high gear. This feels a little bit slow. Oh, then again, they've kind of nerfed everything in general. Yeah, I took a hit of damage there. It was normally along here. I'd already just take a few hefty whacks. I took a pretty big hit there though. It did wipe out about half my suspension. But there was times when testing this that the suspension had already been pretty much deleted now. But I'll go to the end of the thing and we'll just see. Yeah, hits like... yeah, it's only 15 though. Didn't delete itself there. Hoist by my own petard. Damn sons of bitches. I always like the movie Joyride as well. Joyride. The problem is I'm shit with names. I don't know if I've seen Joyride or not. I may well have though, because it's... I like films in general anyway, and between having like insomnia and shit as well. I was usually up at random times, like when they'd stick cool films on, just sort of back in the day when there was only like 4 or 5 channels. What's that? Specifical? Specificist? I can't even bloody say it. Oh, it's just jumped up. Joyride is heavenly... I can't bloody read or do anything tonight. Joyride is heavily inspired by Joel. Pretty cool film. Joyride. It's one of those, just a generic name, like... I'll have to go and check them out. I'll type it in YouTube after this. Oh, by the way, just while I remember, it's random, but Rebel by choice, if you're still there. I went and looked at your, is it the CHV vehicle? Whatever name it was, I did go and look at it. It looks pretty nice. I went and looked at the, that edition of it you got as well. And it looked pretty cool. I like it. Michael, I just tipped 3 loads of logs. Yeah, you don't want to do that. The cranes are a bit awkward. I know I've not really been paying much attention, but I swear this Tega feels like it's been nerfed to shit. Like, again, I know I wasn't paying full attention, but I'm squeezing the throttle and aiming forward. It should have been dropping the hammer a bit better than it has been. I don't know whether he's taking more damage though. I took that hit of damage like right near the start, but then I've not really taken any massive hits since. They might have improved it a bit, but have they improved it a bit, or have they again nerfed everything a few percent, and it's just that last little bit has sort of taken the edge off where it doesn't take hits as easily? I don't know, something about the Tega now just doesn't feel right. I did put... It's got the top engine, it's got the high range, raised, all chains. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have one more run, just for the hell of it while I'm chatting away, but... yeah, feels nerfed. Fox, you out there? How about doing the dual truck? Kieran Cousins, rip. The old logs. That's what you need. If you're using mods, you want to get the Mustang RSK mod or whatever. It's got the... it's certain trucks, but they added the logging cranes that were how they were on MudRunner, which were a sort of better, really. Worst thing is no crane. My load fell down the quarry. Oh yeah, that's definitely... It might be easier just to go back and get more logs. Never good though. I always like to recover me load if I can. Sounds like something she'd say. Yeah, I feel sorry for your loss, exactly. It's a beast, especially when it's logs. Right. I nearly shouted at 4 AM. It can do that to you. This is that sort of game. It can get you like that. Right. Just feels like there's some punchiness missing. And again, I've done this contest at least 300 times, probably nearer 400 or 500 times. See, I took a hit then. It's not a massive hit. Yeah, I don't know. But those little trollish hits there were what, yeah. I would probably lean towards they haven't changed how much damage you take, but they might, like I said, have just background nerfed everything a little bit. And that might be why it's feeling a bit different. Because I've got to be honest, I'm taking the trollish hits back there like normal, or since they then updated it that we take more damage, which was like a year and a half ago odd. But because it is going a bit slower, it's not necessarily took fat enough hits to where it's like completely deleted my suspension already. But it definitely had the same trollish nature of like just hits that don't really seem like it should even punish you for it. Can you imagine working for hours on a mission and then a little rock tipped your truck? I've had that happen before. I nearly was going to make a video on it like 2 odd years ago now. Where I crashed the Navistar on Smithfield Dam as you try and cut down the right hand side of the map if you go past, like, I think there's a fuel station and stuff. And yeah, I tipped the Navistar and it was just an absolute nightmare, and I got it tipped back, loaded the cargo on, that took about an hour or so, and then I immediately tipped again, went through all the bullshit again, and then tipped again, and yeah, I was about ready to bite through my PlayStation remote by then. Biggest sigh, tempting to use mods, but I'm sticking to a legit story. It's true, it can get you down in them moments, but you just gotta send out your rescue vehicles, send out a goddamn horse, which usually he's up to some pretty good things. Yeah, in that sense, you're probably best off though just to kiss the logs goodbye and go back and get some other logs. It depends what map you're on, as long as they're not limited logs. If they are limited, obviously, you sort of more, yeah, need to kind of rescue the ones that you've dropped. But if you can just replace them, then it might be easier just to do that. Sorry, I'm missing that at least once from falling off a cliff or something. DJ count, Vampy, I'll catch you later, guys. I appreciate it, dude. Cheers for popping in, though. Again, there's yeah, not a whole lot to do on this live stream. I wanted to check those vehicles out, but yeah, without all-wheel drive, they were a little bit on the underwhelming side. But I will still say they do look nice, or 2 out of 3 do. I'm getting a bit of frame rate awkwardness going on there. Yeah, I've got to be honest, not the damage situation, but something just doesn't feel right about this Taiga. Feels like they've taken the edge off the revs. Revs up to about 2,000. Problem is that it doesn't necessarily mean that it actually does. I'll have to check on my Taiga video though if it used to rev higher than that. Right, and then the last place was Lake Coved to go and test these. What they called? The Western Star. We'll see how they handle on the ice. Yeah, I don't want to use mods even if I'm struggling. Yeah, that's why I've been with some situations. Like I say, it depends which order you've done the maps in and all the rest of it. If you've got trucks like the Zik 605R, that helps for certain situations. It's not just a sort of the be-all and end-all of trucks. There's still plenty of times I prefer to take like the Dolphin and other stuff. Obviously these days they need to add more vehicles of what you can have, like different cranes on and logging cranes and blah blah blah, because that's what I find these days I'm quite limited by when I want to do a mission on certain maps and stuff. It's I want to pick a different vehicle for the sakes of variety, but then I get certain vehicles that, oh yeah, I can't have this crane on that, I can't do this, I can't do that. and it sort of herds you back into the same group of like 5 vehicles that are always the handiest ones to use, really, just because they sort of work in all different conditions. But yeah, a lot of trucks are kind of limited by what they can have or can't have. But yeah, like I say, as far as tyres go, the drop axle things aren't chained. The front isn't really going to make much difference because it's not powered, so it should drive along the ice though. So it almost got beached then by that one of those box things. Do you know what? It's one of, I mean, they're like a big container that you put fuel and stuff in, those like white caged boxes. Someone at my brother's work had one of them fall on him and apparently just hit him on the head. And I think it fucked his neck up a bit. I think he's, safe to say he's probably going to pretty much be retiring from that one. But yeah, pretty crazy. Apparently the wind blew. There was one of them like stacked on top of the roof. And it, yeah, flew off and hit him in the head. Pretty unlucky. Yeah, I mean, again, the fact that this thing's struggling just on this bit of snow. I mean, this vehicle, yeah, I don't really like at all. I'd probably say it's objectively the worst vehicle in the game. I don't even think the Transstar would get stuck as bad as that. But yeah, as far as ice goes, I mean, it's... I'll obviously do a little drift and all that, but yeah, chained-wise at the back, it's not just going to be an absolute skating rink. But the front, yeah, it won't pull itself back round. It's not the end of the world. It will drive on ice because it's got chained. Suspension gone. So now it just sits like on all the tyres. Well, I did not like that. Yeah, I've got more chance of being invited on a trip to the moon. I'm getting out of there. In fact, I'll leave it there because I might ram it with a twice twin steer at some point. Seems like the logical thing to do. What's the point of putting highway trucks in SnowRunner if we can have off-road trucks extra? Yeah, no, I fully agree. It seems a bit of an odd decision. I mean, as far as like them looking highway trucks, I'm cool with that. But yeah, the fact that they're not all-wheel drive. Like, realistically, is there any truck on the planet that isn't all-wheel drive? I know there's going to be ones that isn't, but I mean, is there any truck on the planet that can't be made all-wheel drive? There'll be some company out there somewhere that will make anything and everything you want in any and every setup you want, pretty much. Even if it wasn't able to come from the factory in that state, there would still be someone. And funnily enough, not that I'm fucking the opposite of an expert on this shit, but I remember years ago looking on like the real name version of the twin steer in this game. Well, I think it's kind of called the twin steer in real life anyway, but there's a video somewhere on YouTube of someone converting one of them from a sort of the rear wheel drive to an 8-wheel all-wheel drive. So yeah, just know off the top of my head there's like somebody doing that on YouTube to a twin steer. It's interesting that it was tipping. I could have probably steered out of it there, but when I seen it going, I just kind of wanted to see if it would. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is like an ultra tippy beast, but bear in mind if you can also put a roof rack on the roof, that may make the weight sit even higher on top of that. Manages through this snow better than the first truck. It's still pretty crap by like compared to just normal truck. I'll get a normal truck in a minute and just send it through there just to sort of show you the difference. John McIver, hey bud, glad I caught the live stream. Hope all as well. Yeah, not too bad, cheers dude. Hope all's well with you. Yeah, cheers for popping in for the old live stream. All I've been doing, by the way, mainly, and just messing around, but they've added a new Wolfpack DLC with 3 trucks, but long story short, they're highway trucks. And yeah, we're all kind of discussing how, yeah, they could do with more. They could do with all-wheel drive. Again, this one's got a nice bit of oomph to it. The 2 vehicles with custom paint jobs, there's potential there to both of them. They just, yeah, they need all-wheel drive. That's pretty much as simple as that. Does it? No. Be an old loaf rescue job. And then the last one. Where the hell is the garage? Let's see how this goes through the snow. I've got a feeling this might be even a little bit better through this patch of snow coming up because there's more weight at the back. We can make it much harder mode by using highway trucks. True, but like, at what point is it sort of harder mode versus just not equipped for the map mode, if that makes sense? I'm not judging it, I fully agree, like, it is objectively going to make it more difficult for yourself, but if you get into points like here where if I was just going to get bogged down, I think this should keep moving forward. All I'm going to do is just say take another vehicle with me as a support vehicle, in my case probably a goddamn horse, and just keep sending him in front, attaching a winch and pulling myself along that way. So yeah, I'd rather just go with a vehicle that has all-wheel drive and I can sort of grip on all the normal bits. But I know what you're saying, I'm not disagreeing, it will certainly make life more difficult. Oh, I did tip in the end. I was going to say, oh, it flew back. Yeah, the back's definitely heavier on this. You can see like how much it was drifting and all the rest of it. Get a bit of a drift on the go in a sec. Just to... popped a tyre, but it feels like I got the handbrake on. Wondering if the solution is to nerf the terrain or buff the tyres. Not sure. Trucks without all-wheel drive don't even stand a chance in most DLC maps. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I've kind of thought a similar thing myself. I'd probably say buff the tyres. Even though like I wouldn't necessarily disagree with nerfing the terrain, I just think the chances of them nerfing the terrain are very, very, very slim to none. They seem to have spent the last couple of years sort of over buffing the terrain to where it's like super OP, snow and mud and all the rest of it. But yeah, I think a simpler solution would be to just buff the tyres, because even in a non-all-wheel drive setup, I mean the P16 again is a sort of good example. That's got custom tyres, and I'm sure that plays a part in how well it handles and all the rest of it even without all-wheel drive. I do also think its weight makes a big difference. I'll go this way. But when you drift the truck, it's quite nice to drift. I'm trying to get the front end to catch it. But it certainly drives fine on ice as far as that goes, because it's got chain tyres. It's yeah, there's no real issues. Might tip back. Nope. Because I'm sat on that bit of A up. It's thinking about it. Where's the twins there? Gonna have to go and ram something. That's what Jesus would do. Be interested in non-OP mod versions of these 3 trucks. Yeah, exactly. And I think overall the modders will sort of cover that. I know they might also then add like the equivalent of beast mode engines and all the rest of it. But usually, I can't think of many, if any, mods where you have to have like OP mode, there's no other option. I just tend to add like the best stuff on every mod. But if I was going to spend longer on the mod, I could kind of tone it down a little bit. But yeah, I agree though. It's I'll be looking forward to any mod versions of these, because again, there's the I don't know, the base vehicle they're starting off with. There is a certain amount of promise to at least 2 of 3. Like I say, that truck I like, and the one with the wolf paint. The other one, yeah, just with the drop axles and all the rest of it. I mean, if someone put all-wheel drive on it and it had a better engine and all the rest of it, then cool, I'll certainly be up for driving it. But yeah, at least 2 of the 3 are kind of... There's good potential there. It just... Yeah, they do need all-wheel drive. Need to be more off-road ready. Someone just go flying off up in the air. ET trying to phone home balls. Let's get out of here. Oh, I've kind of half deleted the twin steer as well. These things happen. Could I get out of there without that? Considering I've deleted the suspension, this thing's doing pretty well through the ice. Should be able to get it out of there now. Fighting it. So this thing's like a right anchor. All good now. It's definitely nice to have like a beast mode twin steer though. Pretty sure this truck's going to be happy about it. Not my problem. Entirely sure what this is proving, but I don't feel like this truck needed a bit of slapping. There we go. Completely worth it. What's the next truck to beat up? Oh yeah, and I'll get a normal truck in a minute, just send it through the snow just to show you what the difference is. Mr. Bus's makes pretty good was it mods that are pretty close to vanilla trucks? Yeah, true, I've got quite a few of Mr. Bus's mods on. I like them, he's yeah, good modder. Is Azov Bruce the only truck to have all add-ons? I don't know actually, to be honest. Possibly though, I know what you mean, like, I assume he's got all the cranes and all the rest of it. Yeah, it might be. Maybe, I don't know, but I was going to say, you know that Paystar they added that's like the 10-wheel version? Maybe that might have all of them as well, but can't say for definite. Bro, what did that truck ever do to you? It existed in non-all-wheel drive format. That is what it did. And it had the audacity to have double drop axles that get stuck on everything. This truck though, is handling the extreme towing a little bit better. Again, I kind of forgot how beast mode this twice twin steer is, but I'm liking it. When you really haven't got time to fuck around with the terrain. It's doing its job. It's certainly beating itself to pieces pretty quick. porno and a half hour, I'll do the same thing. Oh yeah, they are unkillable trees. We'll show him why I love the twin steer. Yeah, it's the mod version, but it is a bit more crazy mode than the normal one, but the normal one is, like, decent. It probably takes a bit longer to wind up to speed and all the rest of it, but the, yeah. The original twin steer is bloody good. Moving that for a bit. I don't even know why, I just wanted to visit the cliff. I've been here for a while. Was this where we originally got Taz TUZ16 from? Unkillable tree as well. Are there any vehicles left down here? Surprise. I know it's my mod playthrough. Just surprised there's not something. Oh shit. Thank God for that unkillable trick. Know your panic winches. Check out the 49X MS edition. Close to vanilla, only differences mud tyres, autonomous winch and a crane, lug carrier front, and powered drop axle thing. I'm not sure if I have used that before. By the way, as random as it is, I believe this is where the... I've already got it. I believe this is where you got the GMC Mh9500 all-wheel drive from. And then, what are we on? Lake Coved. Oh, it won't even let me show you Amandra. But I think the twin steer all-wheel drive was on Amandra. As you go through the gateway, it was like, yeah, near the start. It's sort of hard to explain when I can't even click on the map. I was just going to go and do something, and then I forgot. Oh yeah. Not that it's really much of anything, but... Rebel, all-wheel drive for GMC. Oh yeah, cheers dude, yeah. So, we did have the same place in mind. Yeah, I'll just get a normal truck, this Taiga, just to show you how this will go over the snow out here. I won't even put it in high gear, or shall I? Well, either way you can see, I mean it just walks over it. There's a tiny patch there where you get like, it sort of technically goes up into like death snow mode, but only for a split second really. It's a non-issue for just all-wheel drive trucks, whereas all three of those trucks were acting like it's a serious bit of snow. I don't know what it is about the Taiga. Something feels nerfed about it. I don't like it. I'm trying to get through the gears. It's like I'm on ice. I can't really have a less. I don't know. Or shall I say a more slippery surface? Oh shit. That's what the old ice does to you. Well, yeah, you can see like the difference though. Nice save, not tipping over the snow cliff. Yeah, true. It was definitely a panic winch moment, that one. I've been across there in a lot of vehicles where, yeah, last minute panicking. It's one of the few trees that I appreciate that you can never rip out the floor. I think when I did the Azov Antarctic video and I was going across there, it was either, I can't remember if it was a review video actually, it might have just been one of the missions on this map, but yeah, a panic winch to that tree saved my bacon back then as well. Lone Wolf's favourite truck, he said so earlier in the stream. Which one's that, sorry? Is that the Dolphin? We are both PS4 SnowRunner players. What the hell is going on with this thing? I think they might have upped how much a burst tyre slows you down as well. I assume what I just did was pop the tyre. I did it earlier on that 57X. It seems to slow you down a hell of a lot these days. Like, that just made me go back to first gear, I think. There, just dropped to first again. I know I've damaged the suspension and that, but I've done that plenty of times before. The burst wheel though, tyre or whatever, it's making a hell of a difference. Check it out, I'll go just off-road across the ice again. Probably won't take long until I pop a tyre. Yeah, I mean you can see though, that was in high gear, that's just, it walks over that like it's nothing. Trying to get this thing just in high gear is like, well, not in high gear, but to where it's actually motoring along. Definitely, they've done something. This is the original Tiger, isn't it? Yeah, it's not the newer one. SnowRunner page the difference in our skills in driving is like a million. To be fair, I will say, like, in videos I get to edit out the bad bits, so there is that probably works in my favour. And then stuff like, I just mash triangle anytime you're about to crash, look places and start mashing triangle, and if you're lucky you might hit you'll just hit a nice winch where it saves you at the last second. That would be my advice on it. But either way, I appreciate it. But yeah, I think that I do get to edit out some of the bad moments. What do you think of the Zix 605R? Yeah, it's definitely a solid vehicle. I like that a lot. The only thing I would add to it really is just chain tyre option. Other than that, yeah, it's pretty solid. It's got enough fuel to travel pretty far. It's got a hefty roof rack. It's got enough roof on the roof. Enough room on the roof to put a loaf, which I can fit loafs on plenty of things. I'll get him on there because he's a goddamn professional, but it's easy just to put a loaf on the roof of the Zix. It's got enough power to tow heavy loads and all the rest of it. The tyres are tall enough that it can climb over most of the rocks that they've kind of scaled on this game to make it awkward for most trucks, but the Zix kind of, yeah, does step over things quite nicely. Well, I'll smash this thing up. Speaking of which, before I go, I could, if I've got one laying around. And yeah, that's the Dolphin. Oh, it's the tuned version. I could have a little, fuck it, let's go in that. Like me with the Dolphin action. Yeah, the Zix, so yeah, just a very good truck, definitely worth getting, I would say. Yeah, you said Dolphin was your favourite, was telling someone who asked. Yeah, no worries, dude, that's what I reckon though. Like this, there's certain things that the Zix is just objectively better for, because the Dolphin, it uses its fuel pretty quick and it's got a pretty small fuel tank. This one's obviously 300 litres, not 200, because it's the tuned version. It's like a mod basically. But the Dolphin in certain situations, obviously it's got the high range gearbox and all the rest of it, it can go a lot faster than the Zix. So if, for example, I was travelling like on this map, going along this ice, I could just cover a lot of distance pretty quickly, and that's so if it's a free enough flowing map to where I can actually drop the hammer a bit, I'd rather take the Dolphin than the Zix. But if it's going to be a map kind of like, say, Northern Aegis installation, or yeah, just a bit of a brutal map that's going to make you quite sort of tight, twisty turns and all the rest of it, I'd probably go for the Zix, just because I'm going to lose the benefit of speed in the Dolphin, and then the fuel is going to sort of bite me sooner rather than later. But again, I'd take a loaf with me anyway, so I've always got like an extra chunk of fuel. But if I've got the Zix, I'll put a loaf on the roof of that on top of the roof rack, and then now I've got like even more fuel and repairs and all the rest of it. I've got to say, well, it's, as I'm hitting the ice, it's obviously popped tyres, but yeah, I think they might have upped how much it slows you down. Look at it. And at the minute, I've still got suspension, I've got everything else, it's just the tyre's gone. And it absolutely is killing how fast it can go. Don't know if I popped both tyres. I can repair one, but yeah, so there's still one that's not healthy, but it is quite near to the front axle, so yeah, look at it. It's like it's put that. It feels like the equivalent of it's put the handbrake on. So bear that in mind then, because I assume in Phase 8, well, regardless, like if you pop a tyre these days, it's going to absolutely murder you for it. Which is where the goddamn horse comes in, because he's always got at least 4 spare tyres on him. There he is. Get yourself plenty of loafs. Have I got a Zix rain? Oh, I can't even bloody talk tonight. Laying around. There's GMC. That's yeah, with the all-wheel drive and that. It's a decent truck these days. Sod it, I'll just go and buy one. Must have yeah, got all the other ones out all over the place. I suppose I could get like the Goliath version, really. Let's get one of them as well. What's the difference? It's pretty mad how much different. Like, obviously the wheels are pretty big on that, but when you compare it to that, how much difference? It both says 61-inch tyres. Oh, I suppose they probably are, actually. They look a lot. I know they're fatter, but they look like they're taller, but I think it's just more lifting up the cab. I have no idea if that's the strongest engine. God knows, 6-speed sounds good. I'll probably call it a day after this, because at this point I could just endlessly grab any vehicles, go flying around and doing not much of anything really. Do you prefer the Taiga or the TUZ 420? Probably the Taiga, to be honest. There's certain things I like about the TUZ 420, but one, I don't like its top end speed. It tends to take a while to get anywhere. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'd still take the Taiga for most situations, because obviously you can put I know these haven't got chained on, but they're in the chain section. It's saying good for ice, so they should be right. Yeah, it's just more usable. The TUZ, you can't really do a hell of a lot with it. Like, it can't tow trailers officially. I know you can winch one to you, and to its credit, the thing is like a pulling machine, so it can pull trailers, but you can't. If you needed to deliver a trailer on a mission, it won't register that you've delivered the trailer unless it's actually like attached to your vehicle, sort of thing. There's situations like that where it could sort of bite you and just force you to have to go back and get another vehicle, basically. I'll put that. Where's the? Am I blind? Where's the roof rack? Where is the roof rack? Oh, is it on this bit, maybe? Yeah. I don't know, what's the biggest, fattest roof rack? That one, apparently. First P16 bumper. Well, I'm not really bothered about all that. I don't need all this, I just wanted a roof rack, really. What colours have we got? Oh, yeah, where's the... always like the fluorescent green ones. I don't know why. Go for a bit of off-roading, and then, yeah, call it a day. Could attempt that cliff again. I mean, obviously, yeah, this is the modded version, so it's going to be like even more beast mode. But the general idea is the same. You can still get a roof rack on the normal Zix. I believe the tyres are the same size. They're just, you get more options, obviously, on the modded version. But yeah, just overall, I just like it as a vehicle. And the good thing, well, this modded version, it's already got like, it's the red suspension, it's equivalent of the suspension's already broke, but obviously it's not. It just pretty much means you can never take suspension damage. See how it goes through the ice. Yeah, it's eating that pretty well. Bark 6 is definitely one of the best mods trucks in the game. Yeah, it's definitely a beast. If you do need like just an all-out beast mode truck, this is a pretty good one to go with. I missed some of that comment, but I can see then you get the Zik straight away. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I believe I have got the videos like near from when I did those of like which missions to do on the Urska River map that'll then let you go to Cosmodrome and then get the Ziks. And yeah, overall I'd say it's worth it because it's just a good vehicle. It's a good vehicle to have to complete most of like the Amur region with. I wouldn't want to get most of that done and then sort of leave the Ziks till near the end. It'd sort of be a shame because yeah, it was a good match for the match really, even though it was a bit odd that they didn't give us chain suspension, but they gave us 4 snowy maps. But for the most part it didn't really matter too much. Because most of it was like off-road snowy driving, you don't really get too many sort of like just pure icy roads. Can beat Club Brothers in deep mud while being able to keep up with Cat in the Antarctic. Yeah, like I say, overall, I'd say objectively it's probably the best vehicle in the game that we get. Sort of favourite and fun-wise, I still the Dolphin is pretty much at the top for me. But yeah, even in then, like this is still sort of a close second. And like I say, objectively, this thing is just pretty damn solid. Curious, if this thing fell off the truck, would it take me with it? Nope. Thought about it, but wasn't able to. Went off a bit. On the piss there. This is the only bit I don't like about these unkillable trees, is they kind of morph into your chassis and then you get stuck like so. I'll still be able to get out of that, I'm not too worried about that, but it'd be nice if they didn't do this. And this section's always been a bit of a pain in the ass for this because they line this little narrow bit of road with it. It's not so bad now, but you imagine you got like, I came through here once I believe in a big 8-slot trailer. Holy shit, that did not go well. Is a Tatra Force T815? Overall I'd probably say no, personally. It's a bit sort of meh. Even though it's got all-wheel drive and all the rest of it, that side of it, but if I remember correctly, the engine power doesn't feel good enough. The gearboxes and all that, it feels pretty slow. I'm sure there was something it was missing. I can't remember if it... I'm sure it's got all-wheel drive, so it must be maybe diff locks it hasn't got or something. It was just overall, certainly on the map that I remember using it on, must have been... oh yeah, that Chimcharuski map, Chinoka Mensk or whatever the hell it was called. Yeah, it was just a little bit meh. Like, again, for me, I'd pick the Zik 605R over that Tatra 815 thing or whatever it's called. Damn horse. Right. We've got cover. Even the loaf drives along snow like. Just doesn't even care. Quite a lot to fix on that one. Just even some wheels. Oh, I've already nailed the roof rack from a previous time. I was just curious, I wasn't really planning on doing this. I was just going to see. But there's only have one spare tyre in the whole roof rack. Oh, in neutral. Well, I didn't put it in there, I assume, from having a smashed engine. See, like, this thing can barely crawl. I'll put some fuel in it, but I don't really think it's going to make the world of difference. It's just without the front pulling along. It's just not the same. Squeeze at these steps. Oh, God. See, like that rock, and that's it. Your whole game plan gone to shit because of a rock, which on this game is going to happen quite a lot. Fit up there. What she said. Yeah, I mean, I want to like these vehicles, but they just ain't doing enough. They'd drive me mad before I've even close to got a mission done. If they're gonna get stuck every time you hit a rock and stuff, like, by comparison, it wouldn't surprise me if I could get over this rock. There you go. There's a goddamn horse. That's why you get yourself a loaf. He eats rocks for breakfast. That's a pretty bad turning job by me, but apparently the loaf is just going to start climbing everything anyway. Last time when I used to come here, it just so happens these steps are like, yeah, the same width as the loaf's tyres, so you're trying to jump up 2 steps at once, but again, been here before many times. Loaf is a goddamn horse. I knew he'd get up there. And then I spent a while pretending I was shooting imaginary planes down. That's how much fun I was having with a goddamn horse. Let's see if the Zix can climb up there. The Zix is going to be too wide, but it might be able to do something. It might just climb, yeah, like that way. Just walk up the side of the wall. It's not like in the last bit, mate. Well, even the loaf got up here easier than that. I mean, he's a goddamn horse, so I wasn't expecting less. Just a goddamn beast. That was what we've established. Don't bother with a wolf pack yet unless they add all-wheel drive. Get yourself a loaf. Yeah, well, I may as well call it a day there, because to be honest, like I said, I could just keep blindly messing around doing whatever. I might just leave these vehicles here. In fact, I'll recover this. One last victory horn. I'll recover this thing just for the hell of it. So it kind of covers it in snow. Yeah. Well, that's it. That's overall with the vehicles. I like the look of them. There's potential there, but they need to take the off-road aspect a lot more seriously. Otherwise, they're just, yeah, like, it's not a word I'd normally use, but eye candy. They're just going to sit there looking nice with nice paint jobs, but they're going to piss you off every 2 seconds when they get stuck on every little thing. You know, like, you'll knock a bloody signpost over and it'll get stuck on that. It's just going to start annoying you after very long at all. Well, I managed 2 hours and 40 of a live stream that I was messing around with other vehicles as well. And all 3 of them have pretty much managed to kind of piss me off with, yeah, just the lack of oomph. Where are they? I was just going to go and see what the price of them was quickly. I didn't have to buy them in the end, because just I assume by owning the DLC it automatically gave me one of each. Where are the little bastards? There they are. 62 grand, that's not too bad, I suppose. That's the 49X we used to have. Right, so it's these 3. 132 grand and 140. Fucking hell, and that's the one with the shitty double axles, no special paint job. And it got stuck on a bloody car bonnet and then like a molehill sized bit of snow. So yeah, ironically I would put them in like the cheapest is the best. That's the second best. It might actually be, yeah, the best for sort of maybe like once you've set it up with trailers and whatnot. And yeah, I would say that's the worst. And for whatever reason, 140. By comparison, the White Western Star is 48 grand, and that is obviously all-wheel drive and diff-lock capable, and would eat that for breakfast, I'd say, generally speaking. What's this? Yeah, that's 140. I'd much rather get that. And that's all-wheel drive. Yeah, I can actually have all-wheel drive on that one, and diff locks. I'm not going to go for like a long drive or anything. I'm back on the Black River. I'll just drop the hammer towards the farm or something just to kind of demonstrate. It's essentially the same vehicle-ish, the same make of vehicle and all the rest of it. It's just got all-wheel drive and that's it, and it'll make a big difference. Rover by choice, have a good morning, Wolf. Yeah, I appreciate it, dude. And yeah, cheers everyone for popping in. Like I said, it's still a little bit of a quiet time on the SnowRunner, but thankfully, well, now one I can do a review video. What do you reckon though? Doing a review video on this wolf pack? Shall I do one, or shall I wait until phase 8 to see if they do an all-wheel drive version? Because an all-wheel drive version of the review video is going to be a hell of a lot better than the not all-wheel drive version. I don't really mind either way. I don't know, I'll have to think about it. I'll go back to like the farm where that ploughed field was, where like a couple of the trucks just got bogged in and couldn't even keep going. And this, I suppose it's like half and half, this vehicle. It's got one drop axle or whatever. So it's going to be a bit longer than the truck that had the wolf paint job. It's a bit shorter, I assume, than the, yeah, the 1430 or whatever it's called. The modder who made the titanium has made a mini version, hopefully will come to console next week. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, cheers for letting us know, man. I'll keep an eye out for that. If we get that, yeah, I'll definitely get that on a mod thing. Rebel, and then this is how it starts. You already knew it was going to happen. I think we know what the review would be. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the problem. Like, I'm happy to do the reviews. You see how just having all-wheel drive, like, it's basically the same vehicle, but just having the power on the front to keep walking over these little bumps. It's just, yeah, that's it. On one hand, rally special, squeezing the throttle, that's it. And you see how it's stopping after each tree, but just having the extra tyres to then fire you back up to speed, I was able to kill all 10 trees, whereas like the other truck just kind of ran out of juice and grip and all the rest of it by the time I killed, was it 3 trees or something. So it's just, it is what it is. Like, I'm sure in real life all-wheel drive makes, you know, a pretty considerable difference as well, but particularly in this game and like the mechanics of it and how it plays out and all the rest of it, it's just such a biggie that they really do need to like take it a lot more seriously. Yeah, just adding trucks that don't have it is just not, it doesn't make sense now. It would have made sense if they added them a week or 2 after the game originally first ever came out. Maybe then, yeah, but these days, like, it's just, yeah, we've got Zixes and stuff, we've got Tigers, we've got Dolphins, Vorons, even the P512 as far as like a non-all-wheel drive truck goes. There's trucks that will just absolutely eat all those 3 new Wolfpack trucks for breakfast. Paul Bunyan, that should be Tri-Drive. Well, I don't. What's Tri-Drive? Sorry, is that like some? I don't know. I've never heard of Tri-Drive. Was that like a name? You know, like a not a nickname, but yeah. Is that like a version of all-wheel drive? If it ain't, then it needs to be. Like the Western Canadian log trucks. Is that on this game, sorry, or in real life? I'm not too clued up on a lot of sort of real life trucks, to be honest. Yeah, I like cars and that normally, but as far as trucks go, I'm a bit of a flat out amateur. Other than like what I've learned in this game and yeah, stuff like that. There's the odd little thing, but generally speaking, I'm pretty clueless when it comes to that sort of stuff. Real life, yeah, fair enough. I'll type it in on YouTube afterwards. I'll learn a bit more, gather a bit more knowledge. Yeah, well that's it. Like I say, that truck is just, it's a Western Star. It's the 49X. So the big cool looking truck with like the dragon painted on it was called the 57X. So I assume it's like a more highway version of this. But even the 1424, yeah, that one. I mean, there you go. They're pretty bloody similar trucks. I know obviously like one's got a bit of a longer wheelbase because it's got a drop axle, but they look pretty similar. The front grill's pretty similar. The front bumpers are pretty similar. I could probably change them to make them about the same. Yeah, it's just, it makes such a difference, like night and day. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Hopefully they get the hint and they just update them all. So as far as that goes, just lastly, yeah, I would not recommend getting the Wolfpack at the minute. Just because, yeah, they're not going to be useful in game really. Yeah, I'll probably call it a day then. Rebel Watch Duel, true. I'll try and find it on something, and if I can, yeah, I will, because I'd quite happily sit down and watch that sort of film. And for anyone who hasn't seen Smokey and the Bandit for a while, I'm gonna go and watch that. It was bloody good. One thing I like about Smokey and the Bandit, it was obviously, I believe it was filmed in the late 70s, but even as you're watching the film and you can see like them driving down the, I think you guys would call it like the interstate and that, the lack of traffic, the other thing as well, the amount of cars they crash in that film that would be worth a fortune today, but were obviously like just, you know, the scrappy cheap cars back when they were killing them. It's pretty crazy if you actually added up how much each vehicle would cost to have in that mint condition today. Is yeah, it's the same with old films over here. You see them crashing like old Mark 1 Escorts and stuff, and it's like, oh my god, I'd fight someone over a car like that. yeah, but yeah, I'll call it a day. I'll try and check out Joel. Mark Rowe, thanks for the stream. Yeah, I appreciate it, dude. Cheers for popping in and all the little bits of info that you usually let me know about. It's you that's normally giving me the heads up on the best mods and stuff to try this week. Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. Whatever you're getting up to, whether it's night or day, enjoy the rest of your evening and all that. And yeah, like I said, I've got a few videos, like a quick lap on the Nürburgring that I'll probably do. I will get that Isle of Man video as well, by the way, Rebel. I was only going to tie it into, just instead of it being on like its own little island, just I release one video weeks apart from anything else. I'll try and bunch a few together, but they're not off the list. They're on the to-do list. I just keep adjusting my plans based on. Yeah, I'm doing this thing. I'm learning as I go as well, so it is what it is. But yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Enjoy the rest of whatever you're up to. Kieran Cousins, good night, mate. I appreciate it, dude. Rebel by choice. Was that? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no worries, dude. I've not forgot about it. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your night, all day, and I'll be back soon.